Ports will remain until Iran cries uncle and agrees to abandon its pursuit of nuclear weapons. That's President Trump's position. He was interviewed by Axios. As oil prices skyrocket, they're now at a 4-year high. Gasoline prices are following suit. AAA's national average for regular, $4.30 per gallon, up 7 cents from yesterday, 27 cents higher than a week ago. The California average has topped $6. Inspired by Democrat redistricting in other states, Florida's GOP-led legislature has passed a new set of Republican-favored congressional lines backed by Governor Ron DeSantis.
It's a big victory for Republicans seeking to fast-track a new House map as midterms approach. Florida Republicans already enjoy a 20-8 seat edge in the congressional delegation. The new map would increase that to a 24-4 advantage. Majority Democrats recently pulled off a similar maneuver in Virginia. The Sunshine State represents the last chance for redistricting in the GOP's favor before the midterms. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Washington Post reports Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry plans to suspend next month's Louisiana House primaries now that the Supreme Court has struck down a race-based congressional district.
In a key voting rights decision, the court's action could open the door for Republican-led states to eliminate black and Latino electoral districts that tend to favor Democrats. Justice Samuel Alito, writing for the 6 conservatives, said Louisiana's map is an unconstitutional gerrymander. But Justice Elena Kagan, who wrote in a dissent for the 3 liberal justices, warned that the consequences are likely to be far-reaching and grave. Greg Clugston, Washington.
There's a bail hearing on tap today for accused would-be presidential assassin Cole Allen. The Dow futures down 98 points, NASDAQ futures up 44. More on these stories, townhall.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
An Australian inquiry into a deadly anti-Semitic mass shooting at Bondi Beach is out with a series of recommendations. The BBC's Katie Watson in Sydney.
There are 14 recommendations in total. 5 of those are classified because of their sensitivity. In addition to improved policing around high-risk Jewish events and a review of Australia's counter-terrorism teams, the report also recommends prioritising a national firearms agreement and a gun buyback scheme. The first round of public hearings starts next week. People with first-hand experience of anti-Semitism are expected to give evidence. The final report is due to be delivered by December the 14th, a year on from the terror attack.
Ukraine is stepping up the use of artificial intelligence to retain an edge on the battlefield as the war with Russia enters a new technological phase. The head of a new AI defense agency says AI is helping Ukraine hold ground while reducing risks to its soldiers. News and analysis, townhall.com. The families of school shooting victims in one remote Canadian town are suing OpenAI in a U.S. federal court.
The suit alleges the ChatGPT maker failed to alert police to the shooter's alarming interactions with the chatbot. A lawsuit was filed on behalf of 12-year-old Maya Gabella, who was critically wounded in the February shooting and is among the first of more than 24 cases coming from families in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. 6 other suits filed Wednesday in San Francisco federal court allege wrongful death claims on behalf of 5 children and a teacher killed in the mass shooting. Jason Walker reporting.
Jerome Powell plans to remain on the board of the Federal Reserve after his term as chairman ends next month. Powell, a thorn in the side of President Trump, says he'll be sticking around for an undetermined period of time. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Happy Thursday morning, everybody. April 30th, 2026. I'm actually kind of surprised. I had to wait. It's Thursday already. This week is kind of flown by for me. But Friday Eve, as we like to say. This is the John Fredericks Media Network. I'm Dan Hobgood. Time for a look at weather and sports. We'll start as we always do with where I am in the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, where the high today will be 72 and nice. A low of 43, partly cloudy. Right now, the temperature is 57 degrees. The Squirrels did not play against the Curve yesterday, postponed due to rain. First pitch today at 11 a.m. in Altoona. Moving on to D.C., the Nats pummeled the Mets yesterday, 14-2. Evidently, Mom Donnie must have been in attendance begging for peanuts or something. First pitch today at 1:10 p.m. However, the Nats are asking to check with the mayor's schedule to make sure he can come. High today in D.C. of 68, low of 44. Right now the temperature is 53 degrees in Washington. Moving on to Atlanta. The Braves outlasted the Tigers yesterday 4-3. First pitch today at 12:15 p.m. A high in Atlanta of 74, a low of 55. Right now the temperature is a very comfortable sounding 62 degrees. Philadelphia. No baseball game last night. First pitch at 5:35 p.m. today between the Giants and the Phillies. I think that a hockey game took place last night. Whatever. High today in Philadelphia of 68. A low in the city of brotherly love of 47 degrees. Right now the temperature is 49. Morgantown. You're looking at a high of only 54 degrees today. Possible showers in the afternoon. A low of 36. Burr. Right now, the temperature is 50 degrees. Okay, Yinzers. Yins don't even want to know. The high temperature will be 53 degrees today. Low of 38. Right now, the temperature is 50. Might as well be freezing over as far as I'm concerned. Okay, well, bringing you today's weather and sports update is the Godzilla Wins radio show. For the best insight, analysis, and picks, watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports picks, go to GodzillaWins.com. That's GodzillaWins.com. This has been Dan Hobgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by the John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everybody.
Unfortunately, she has received some very serious threats in her direction. J.D. Vance, also on stage, backed it up by saying they considered canceling the event but deemed it safe to go on without her. Obviously, not so far outside the box observation. Oh, but it's okay for you to be there? Enter TPUSA adversary Candace Owens posting, quote, "You pulled out because of bad ticket sales. Were there actually a viable threat, the vice president would not have continued the event." Okay, but that doesn't really change anything. It's bad optics for Erica to be talking to an empty room, but no problem for the vice president. Thinking outside the box. No wonder the Iranians blew him off in Pakistan last weekend. Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Some guys might decide that it's a little too tough or it's a little too hard, it's a little too demanding. I'll give you a little example. I got an anonymous letter from a parent. It said, we just kind of bummed out this year that the boys only get 2 weeks off before they start their summer conditioning program. Normally they get 3. Well, we gave them a week at the start of the semester rather than at the end. But here's my point, okay? It's Division I football! Big 12! It ain't intramurals! You got 2 weeks after finals, you got a week of July 4th, and you got a week before camp starts. That's a month! That's probably more vacation than you guys get. And we're a little bummed out that we don't get 3 weeks?
Don't touch that dial. You've found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You got him. Good morning. I'm John Fredericks. You are on the John Fredericks Radio Network. All the apps on TV, Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, JFMN.TV, all right here, all on the John Fredericks Media Network. And thanks for being with us. Coming live in Washington, D.C., well, if you're not fired up today, I don't know when you're ever going to be pumped. The decision by the Supreme Court yesterday basically gutting Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act, making it unconstitutional and illegal to have gerrymandered congressional districts based on race. That is out the window. 6-3, see ya. Gone. The nightmare is over. Now, here's the good news, right? This is good news for us. It's all good news. All right. This is a final order. There's nobody to sue. You can't sue anybody. This is the Supreme Court. These minority majority districts, which have way outlived their usefulness, which is basically Democrat-controlled strongholds, are now gone. Now there is a loophole. There is a loophole. And the loophole is that it's going to be up to the states to fix it. So the states have to do it. Now, here's why, done right, this is earth-changing for America. Done right, this can give us a Republican majority in the House for the rest of our lives, multiple generations, if done right. Now, here's what you have to do. Governor of red states that have a Republican legislature have to convene a special session today. Not tomorrow, not Wednesday, not next week, not May something, today. And in that, as they convene that, they have to redo the maps and get rid of the unconstitutional minority majority gerrymandered districts. This is a huge ruling in our favor. Huge. Generational. But weasel, no backbone, spineless governors like DeWine in Ohio have to call this special session. And it should sweep the South. Now, it started in Florida ahead of time because of Governor Ron DeSantis. One man with courage makes a majority. DeSantis got it. Governor Tate, Mississippi, on Saturday, on Friday night, last week, came out and said, if the Supreme Court rules these districts unconstitutional, I am telling you right now, I am immediately convening a special session and we're going to redo these maps because they will be unconstitutional. There's 3 seats you're going to pick up in Mississippi. Benny Thompson, gone. The liberal in Jackson, gone. Governor of Alabama has to do it. Louisiana's already done it. Louisiana's going to get seats. Mississippi's going to get seats. Alabama's going to get seats. Birmingham, gone. All these seats, they're starting to add up. North Carolina, South Carolina. On our show Friday on the Virginia Gang, Pam Everett, Lieutenant Governor, called for a special session immediately to get rid of, guess who? Clyburn, see ya, out. Do you understand what this means? There's seats all over the place in the South. This is 30 seats. I tell you the other thing, it's going to compel the justices in Virginia in the Supreme Court, it's going to compel them to knock that out. That's gone. This is like the greatest day in history of America. This is like, I don't even know why this isn't covered. Like, yes, we passed the bill last night. I'll get into all that. Yay. You know, all that good. Yay. Yeah, to me, there's nothing else that matters but this. This is so huge. I mean, this is 30 or 40 seats. Now, here's what's going to happen. Let me take this a step further. Weasel governors in the Midwest have to come on and they got to go, yo, Ohio, yo, Indiana, Mike Braun, call another special session, Mikey, because now those districts that your Republican conference wouldn't allow to change the maps, now they're unconstitutional, Governor. I'm trying to get him on today at 9. Love Governor Braun. He texted me back last night to come on, and I was at the Susan B. Anthony gala and dinner with Ann. Great event, by the way. We'll talk about that. We got a lot to talk about today, Danny boy. Lots going on. This is now Indiana. They need to call a special session. Ohio, special session. Any Republican state with Republicans in it, North Carolina, you name it, go. Do it. You got to do it now. We can pick up almost, if we say Virginia, we're talking about plus 40 seats. 40. This is the game changer of all time. I don't really want to talk about anything else except that today. What else is there? What the Democrats have done. And let me give you some other good news. The good news is it's raining good news today. I am your purveyor of truth and clarity. Grab a cup of coffee and let's go. You got to get fired up. This is earth-shattering. If the governors have the balls to do the special session right now and get rid of these districts, we will win the midterms. They're done. Now, AOC comes on TV and says, well, we're going to do the same thing. Well, no, you can't, imbecile. You can't, you little half-wit bartender. You can't because you've already done it. There's no seats for you to get. There's no more in California. There's no more in Illinois. You have the entire New England area. There's no seats. In fact, half-witted imbecile, barstool communist, nitwit, AOC, not only do you not have any seats to get, we're going to get lawsuits. And normally, the lawsuits, folks, go against us, don't they? Right? Somebody's suing us, suing the administration, suing this, suing that, right? Well, there's nothing to sue for the liberals. The communists can't sue anybody. The Supreme Court ruled. There's no lawsuit. What are you going to do? You're done. Here's the other thing. Lawsuits are going our way. For instance, guaranteed lawsuit, Massachusetts. Guaranteed lawsuit, New Hampshire. Guaranteed lawsuit, Maryland. Guaranteed. I'd love to get Dave Bossi on. Let's get Dave on. I gotta write this down, man. I'm fired up. I'm pumped. I mean, this is like a great day. You guys there should be a spring in everybody's step today, man. Let's go. Jump out of bed. Let's get up, take a walk, do something, do push-ups. I don't care what you do. I didn't do any for the last 2 days because I've been up late doing events. So, anyway, I'll get back at it tomorrow. Truth and clarity. We are the voice of the people. And I am fired up. This is a great day in history. This is one of the greatest days because done right, this will give us a Republican majority in the House of Representatives for life. MAGA 2.0 for life. They'll never beat us. We got too many seats. Now, the Republican governors in the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana, they have to call a special session and they got to get rid of these seats right now. They're unconstitutional. And then other chips are going to fall. This is the dynamic here is incredible. I mean, not only are we talking, see, there's everything is here. Not only are we talking 30 or 40 seat pickup, which will ensure that we win the midterms. Not only are we talking about that, who do you think is going to win these primaries, folks? Rhinos? They're done. We don't have any. We have run them out of the party. MAGA rules. As all the conservatives have moved into the South, no rhinos are going to win this. No establishment House members are going to win this. This is all going to be MAGA conservatives. This is all going to be populist. This is all going to be Trump 3.0. Now, hopefully, if some of these Republicans figure out how to do ranked choice voting in primaries, you'll never get a rhino again because there's 5 MAGA for every rhino and they'll never win. But, we can't figure that out. Let's do it. Let's walk. Let's crawl before we walk. That's my next agenda, is getting Republicans to understand mail ballots, early voting, ranked choice voting for Republicans so that we always have a MAGA candidate because they'll never win. The rhinos are done. Do you understand the dynamic here? They're done. They don't have any candidates. And even if they do, they get swamped. We've taken over the party in the South. I tell you what, it is so unbelievable. Iowa's another one. So Iowa needs a special session. Right now, there should be no Democrats in Iowa if you get rid of these majority districts. I mean, it's 40 seats. And it's generational. And it's not going away. You know who nailed this? Folks, I'll get to your calls here in a minute. I got to put glasses on and all that. I'm pumped. This is like a great day. This is, what was it John Boehner saying? If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. Well, today's like Christmas because there's candy and nuts for everybody. It's called Republican seats, MAGA seats. You know who nailed this? I mean, you know what? Unbelievable. In my life, all the people I talk to at every level, you know who nailed this 4 years ago? 3 years ago. 3.5. My 21-year-old son, youngest son, Joe, nailed this. I know we're talking one night and he's like, this is before Trump won the second time. And he's like, Dad, here's what's going to happen. By the time I'm out of baseball, there's going to be two Americas. There's going to be us and them. And all of us are going to move to these red states. And as we move to these red states, there'll be no rhinos. There'll be no Democrats, right? Every single state will be controlled, state Senate and state House, by MAGA, by conservatives. Everybody will move there. We'll be protected. Eventually, all of our congressmen will be Republicans because that's where we're all going to move. And nobody's going to give a rat's tail what? He didn't say rat's tail. He said nobody's going to give a crap. That's what he said. Nobody's going to give a crap what the federal government does. It's meaningless because we're going to have our own country within a country and we'll be isolated. And nobody will ever go there and they'll all run out of money and go bankrupt and collapse. And we'll all be in Texas and Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina. Anyone out from there. And some of the states in the West, Nevada. He's right. We're going to get 2 Americas now. Divorce has come. This is like a divorce. We're done with you guys. All debts paid. All debts forgiven. All IOUs torn up. I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what policy you have. They're all done. The slate is clean. I forgive all debts. It's like the one day where the bank says, you know what, car loan, forget it. I'll pay it for you. Mortgage, no problem. Personal loan, line of credit, wipe the slate clean, borrowed $50 off me, forget about it. It's all good. IOUs gone, all debts wiped out. I don't care what these Supreme Court justices voted for. I don't really care. Amy Coney Barrett, whatever. All I know is the most important vote in history was yesterday. Nothing else matters to me. This is the game changer of a generation. They're done. They don't even get it. Like, they don't even understand what happened to them yesterday. I'm talking about the communists. They're wiped out in one day. They have gerrymandered this thing. They have gerrymandered these seats into oblivion for us. They get all these seats, minority, this, that, gerrymandered. They got nowhere to go. They got all the seats they're going to get. All they're going to do now is lose them. They're going to lose these seats. Now, you might get a lawsuit in Massachusetts, and they may have to redo it and get rid of the majority-minority district, and there's enough liberals there to still vote the Democrat in. Fine. We don't have any Republicans anyway. It's a net. Hey, Pasqua, 0 times 0 is 0. That's my saying in sales in the company. You know what? If you don't sell anything, you don't get any commission, nobody makes any money, 0 times 0 is 0. It's very simple math. I love that math. For the Democrats, 0 times 0 is 0. You don't get any seats because you already got them. All you can do now in your blue states is lose seats. You can't gain any. You've already gerrymandered into oblivion. If you're running the DNCC, whatever it is, you're done. Hakeem Jeffries, take a hike, you little twit. You're gone too. You will never be speaker. Think of what happened with the Democrats what is today? Thursday? 8 days ago, they were celebrating victory after their vote in Virginia. That's going down the tubes. Folks, you're on the John Fredericks Media Network, Truth and Clarity right here. If you're not fired up today, what are you doing? Why are you tuning in? Go tune in Hobgood's old company and hear about some fire or cat, that squirrel that got caught in an elevator or something. Whatever the hell they talk about that imbecile station, right? Who cares? Come on, man. This is the day. This party day, baby. All right, I'll be back. I got a lot going on. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Stay with us.
We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
This show knows things before anybody else is transmitting it. I said 5 minutes after we make a deal, the price of crude oils can go down $20 a barrel. Well, it went down $20 a barrel today. It did. 15 days from now, and if it looks like we have a good deal, it'll go down another $25 a barrel.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
And that's a good sign for us, obviously, and for the free world.
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Okay, you're back. Let's see. We got somebody on the phone from Iowa. Or did that guy go? What do we got, Dan? Nothing. All right. Dan, you there? Anybody there? Hello? Anybody home? Good to have you with us. Okay. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And Dan says, let's see, Ryan in Iowa. Is Ryan there?
No, he left us.
Okay, Ryan.
I'm worried that he was a prank call anyway.
He was a prank call. Yeah, these guys that call up, you know what? These prank callers, it's sad because like you have no life. If you have a life, why are you up at 6 a.m. doing a prank call for me? I mean, what does that do? You're going to get off within 8 seconds, right? We snuff it out. And the first dumb thing you say, we get rid of you. So what is the point? Get a life. Or I tell you what, whoever these prank callers are, let me give you some advice. Get a cat. Instead of calling me at 6 a.m., go feed your cat, pet your cat, have your cat on your lap. You'll feel better about your worthless life. Obviously, you have no life. If you're calling me on a prank call at 6 a.m., you have no life. Get a cat. It's just it'll change your attitude, man. Sammy got up with me today. He's changed my attitude, right? Follows me in the bathroom, waiting for snacks, right? Follows me in the closet, sits down when I get dressed. He follows me back out to normally when I do my stuff in the AM. I didn't do it today, Dan, obviously. I didn't get up till 5 today because we didn't get in till 10 last night. But it's a great day. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. I was at the Susan B. Anthony dinner last night. Couple of observations. One thing shocked me. Do you know that since Roe v. Wade has gone unconstitutional, do you know that abortions in the United States have gone up dramatically? So what did Roe v. Wade actually do? So abortions have gone up since Roe v. Wade has been thrown out. So go figure that one. It's just Satan's gripping the country. You know, there was a person on last night that talked about, how she was coerced into taking one of those pills that they have now, those abortion pills. And she kind of told the story how Planned Parenthood kind of, I don't know what they did, talked her into it, and she didn't really have an alternative view. And she kind of walked everybody through that, and that was pretty compelling last night. But I tell you what was the best thing about last night. Mike Johnson was unbelievable. Now, I've heard Johnson at a number of events, the Speaker of the House. I've heard the Speaker at a number of events, and he's always good. But last night was different. Last night was more divinity. Last night, you could tell, and he had to go back to the House because obviously they were negotiating this bill, which they finally got done. Victoria Sparks at the end always does the right thing. Thank you, Victoria. She voted for it. Now it goes back to the Senate, and we can fund DHS, and there's no guardrails, and all the thing is done. So they finally got it done. They had to make deals with ethanol and deals with the Farm Bill, and they had to make deals with, FISA and all that. But they got the thing done, and DHS and the Border Patrol and ICE will be totally funded. So that's a good thing. It looks like that's finally over. It looks like it. But that's where we are now. But there was a different Mike Johnson I saw last night. Now, this was after the Supreme Court ruling, so he could feel that he was going to maintain a speakership. But it was different, and you could see how he has grown into this job. Now, he's a very young-looking guy, but he was very mature. He was very funny last night. But there was a sense of leadership I saw in him, a sense of, how do I put this into words? A sense of certainty. When you get something and it becomes certain, and then there's you take a breath, there was a certainty with Speaker Johnson last night. And that's why I go to these events, because you see different things. So Ted Cruz last night, he was great. Josh Hawley was great. There was a bunch of rhinos there. It is what it is, especially in the Senate. But there is a life caucus in the Senate. It's led by Cindy Hyde-Smith. Daines is, of course, retiring from Montana. But Cruz was outstanding last night. Hawley was outstanding. So Graham was okay. It was the same Graham stuff, but it's all good. But it was a great event, and I got to talk to Governor Youngkin was there. Got to talk to him. He's very confident that the Supreme Court of Virginia is going to overturn that gerrymandering thing. Very confident he's going to overturn it. So we're excited about that. If they don't overturn it, there's going to be a lawsuit filed by Republicans on the fact that Bobby Scott's District 3 in Virginia is gerrymandered for minority-majority. That's gone. See, there's nowhere for them to turn. This is what I'm trying to explain. There's nowhere to go. There's no lawsuit to file. I mean, when DeSantis did his thing yesterday, all the Democrats said, well, we're going to file lawsuits. Okay. You're not going to win any of them, just like you didn't win Texas. It's up to the states. And the only lawsuit that you can file and say is that it's carving out minority-majority districts. And that's gone. So what are you going to file it on? What are you going to file against the state legislatures who, according to the Constitution, have the right to draw their maps because there's no federal legislation that oversteps that? Now the key is one thing. Who is it that, okay, let's go to Leonard in Georgia. But here's the thing. Now the weasel, rhino, no backbone governors like DeWine in Ohio need to call a special session and get this done because their maps are unconstitutional. Tennessee, where's Governor Lee? Hello, Marsha Blackburn called for it yesterday, running for governor. Let's have a special session. Governor Lee, well, I don't know if I want to call them back. What? Well, we just had, these are citizen legislators and, we might have to come back in session. The hell are you doing? Well, they got to get back to work. Wah! Then don't be a legislature. I don't care. Call the special session, Mike Lee, Governor Lee. Guess what? You want that plum job in the White House? You don't call the special session? You go work at McDonald's. Why don't you flip burgers, dude? What are you waiting for? To me, there's no excuses here. We have zero excuse tolerance. Zero. For any of these governors not calling a special session today. South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi's already done it. Tate Reeves already did it. It's got one going. Louisiana, you name it. Call it. Ohio, Indiana. Got Mike Braun, I think, coming on at 9. Led the fight, went nowhere. Call it again. Drag him in again, Mike. Drag him in. Kicking and screaming. Drag every one of them in. This is our moment. When it's your moment, you don't fiddle around. You win the game. Like Coach Herman Edwards said, you play to win the game. Not the we just had a session. Our guys are tired. They got to go back to work. Then quit. As Coach Edwards said, retire. Get out of my life. Get out of my face. Out. This is a national divorce. Papers have been filed. And we got custody. That's the beauty of it. File the papers and we get custody of all the kids and we get all the money. That's basically what this comes down to. Custody, kids, and all the property and the money. They're done. What is Mandami going to do now? What is Mandami going to do? Ask us for money? Stick it up your ear, you communist little you twit. You're done too. Get it from Hochul. I told you, 1-800-Kathy Hochul. Shake the New York money tree until they all leave too. Joe's right. We're all leaving. Oh, we're all leaving. We're all going to the red states. And of course, Washington, D.C., because, well, even though we vote 92-8 for the Democrats, Trump runs the city. Folks, you can't make this stuff up, man. All right, we got a caller here. What do we got? Leonard. We got Mike. Let's go to Leonard in Georgia. But before that, Leonard, let's get Leonard on. Leonard, I'm fired up today, Leonard. I mean, this is earth-shattering. They'll never win the House again. Ever. But Leonard, first, I'm going to celebrate. And you know how I'm going to celebrate, Leonard? I'm going to celebrate with my first sip of my 1775 dark roast freshly brewed coffee. Hang on. Damn, Leonard, that's good coffee. You know that first sip? Man, I got to have another one. Unbelievable. Quality of life, Leonard. Quality of life. I know you're out there drinking like Folgers or Maxwell House or some crap. Leonard, quality of life. Got to have one more. Damn, that's great coffee, man. You want some? All right. I'll tell you what I'll do. Just go to 1775coffee.com. 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla. Going to get yourself 10% off. Now, Danny Hobgood in there. By the way, Dan, you got to do those 8 rejoins. Sometime in your lifetime, Danny. Danny doesn't drink coffee, so he's deprived. But Danny, if you drank coffee, you would want my 1775. Go to 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. I love the dark roast. Hang on. Damn, that's so good. Okay, who we got on here? Leonard in Georgia, line 1. Leonard, you're live.
John, if we can take some of your energy and give it to Mike Johnson, we'd probably be done already with all of our work for this year. But I'm glad that he was articulate yesterday. He needs to get a little pep in his step and get some things done and start cracking the whip. But like I said, like the coach was saying, you play the game to win. All Republicans don't even play. They stay on the freaking bench, John.
The party's over. The Rhino party is over. Dude, it's all over. I mean, this is beyond just Johnson keeping the House. This is beyond that. We have taken the party over. Now, everything is going to go to the red states. And then when the new census comes out, they're done there too. They're going to lose a ton of seats. We're going to gain them. I think it was a long time ago, there was a guy on the radio in Atlanta when I lived there. Many of you have heard of him. He was a libertarian. His name was Neil Bortz, right? Been around a long time. He was on WSB or something. And he was a libertarian. And he had this idea. He said, let's all the libertarians in the country all move to New Hampshire. And then we can control New Hampshire. We can have a libertarian state. We all got to move there. Let's go. And of course, to get people to move to a state for political reasons in New Hampshire, in New England, not going to happen. So it never really happened. But that was his idea. Well, now it's happening. We're all going to move to these red states. We're all going to stay there. But there's no rhinos either. See, it's not only are we going to get Republicans, there's no rhinos. They don't exist. We have ran them out of the party. Now, there's a bunch of them in the Senate. They will eventually go retire, whatever. But the House, they're done. Any of these primaries, there's no rhino that's going to win these primaries. There's not one. It's all going to be populist, Trump, MAGA conservatives, every single one of them. If you have ranked choice voting, it would be 100%. You'd never lose. But, some people can't figure it out. I'm sorry. I am so far ahead of everybody. It's almost a handicap. It's like an albatross I wear across my neck. All right, Leonard, go ahead.
One more thing. You remember back there was this in Florida. We had a L.C. Hastings. His district was carved out like a snake all through Florida. So the Dems have been playing this game forever, and they always punch us in the mouth. So no, when it's time to punch them back in the mouth and knock them out, we just want to play patty cake with them. So let's go. Like you said, let's get some.
There's no patty cake here. Any governor in a red state that is not calling for a special session today with Democrat gerrymandered seats should be tarred and feathered. This is not time for, they just had a special session. They're tired. What? Get up off your ass right now and get the legislature back. And if they don't want to come back, good riddance. This is not, you said patty cake. This is not time for let's roast a marshmallow. No. This is time to stiffen your spine, lace them up and lace them tight. Get in the game to win or get out of my face. This is our moment. You seize the moment. Carpe diem. You seize the moment. You seize it. You can smell it. You can see it. You can feel it. You seize it. Anybody that's ever played athletics of any kind, you feel when the other team is going down. You feel it. I coached basketball. I could feel it when my opponent was going down. You put your foot on their neck. You run. You press. You don't play back because you got a 16-point lead in the third quarter. You make it 30. Seize the moment. Carpe diem. This is our moment. This is our time. There is nothing else to me. Nothing else matters. All this stuff. What else matters? Control of Congress matters. With MAGA matters. Nothing else matters to me. They're not going to be able to get they're not going to be able to get a damn thing through with us sitting there in the House for the next 50 years. Nothing. They're done. Nobody even understands, except me, the depth of this decision. If you have governors with the balls to do something about it today. Leonard, thanks. You didn't even say anything. So thanks for getting me all fired up. All right. I'm all fired. Dan, am I fired up today or what? Let's get to This is Truth and Clarity, man. This is why you tune me in. We got a great show. Kelly Loeffler's on at 9:30. So her last night, head of the SBA, she looked fabulous. Got to sit with John McGuire. He was doing great. I said, John, don't worry about it. The Supreme Court's going to overturn this whole thing. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Got to see Governor Youngkin. Got to see a lot of my friends last night. Let's see. Line 2, Mike in Chester, Virginia. Mike, you're live. Go.
Good morning, John. Merry Christmas. It's like you won the lottery, man. You busted your ass riding all over this freaking country, struggling to get 1 or 2 seats to flop, and now you just had the whole thing and just dropped right in our laps. I just hope they don't screw it up.
Oh, they'll try to screw it up. They will try to screw it up. Marsha Blackburn yesterday. I love Marsha. And I love her. I tried to get her on today. She's tied up. So I talked to her. I mean, she says, she says, Governor Lee, excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. Special session. Let's get these seats, Governor Lee. Nashville. Hello. Go ahead, Mike.
I think the word you were looking for Mike Johnson last night, and I wasn't at the event, I have no idea, was gravitas. He's finally got this. He's going to get some swagger now. He's got some back. I mean, he's like fighting everything. He'll have enough of a majority where they can pretty much, the proper word is, they'll get what they want. And they won't be able to stop it. All this namby-pamby BS will be over with. I mean, you finally have enough. But like Tom DeLay, just bring the hammer. Just bring the hammer. No more BSing around. We won't be struggling with 1 or 2 guys that are all wobbly like, well, no, it's going to be like a freight train, I hope. I really do.
Bring the hammer.
I'm ecstatic. I'm like, good golly day. And nobody talking about it. That's what gets me. It's like, we got our ass kicked, so we're not going to tell anybody about it.
The funniest was AOC. Well, we need to, we need to do more gerrymandering. So, it's like, you're such an imbecile. You don't have any seats to gerrymander. You've already done it all. You don't have anything left. There are 2 seats in New York, maybe? You're done. And you can't gerrymander those and make them minority-majority districts because they're illegal, imbecile. Nobody is getting the depth of this thing. They gutted. If you read the, what do they call it in the Supreme Court when they do the opposition to no, right? The rebuttal thing. If you read that by the justice that did that, she basically said, this is gutted. There's provisions in there. They're meaningless. Oh, Politico is saying, well, it's still up to the states. No, it's not, idiot. It's not up to the states. It's illegal. The states can't do it. They'll be sued, every one of them. There's nowhere for them to go. They've emptied their tank. This is the beauty of what happened last night. We got all these seats. They got, 1 in maybe New York and Westchester County or something? They got maybe 1 seat? Where are they going to pick seats up? New England? There are none. Where are they going to pick them up? Did you listen to the... Maryland?
John,
they got 1 seat in Maryland. Go ahead.
Did you listen to the oral arguments on Monday? In Virginia?
Yes.
I got a really good feeling about this because those guys are so much on defense. I mean, they're standing. They don't have a leg to stand on. They're going to lose every one of those damn profits. Well, for all the reasons they can't pass that because of its illegality, are going to come back to bite them on the ass. And then the Democrats are going to go, oh, crap, we opened up a can of whoop butt, and we're going to get the ass whipping. Because all these states in response to what was going on in Virginia said, well, hell, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go for the Republicans. And now this decision, game over.
Game over, baby. I mean, it's going to be hilarious to watch him squawking and screaming and squealing. I mean, if you're Hakeem Jeffries, you went from celebrating 8 days ago, I'm going to be speaker, to you're done for life. 8 days, baby. 8 days. The truth, my friends, will set you free. Truth and clarity right here. 8 days of hell for you, Hakeem Jeffries, and all you little communists out there. They're going to take the party over. And now, this is the other thing it means. I gotta go. I'll be right back with your calls.
92.7 FM, AM 820, and WJFB Portsmouth, AM 1650.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump calls the blockade of Iranian ports genius and foolproof, insisting it will not end until Iran agrees to end its pursuit of nuclear weapons. The president's reportedly considering a resumption of military strikes on Iranian targets. Meanwhile, oil prices have been spiking. Pump prices are as well. Following a stormy appearance before a congressional committee yesterday, Secretary of War Hegseth will be back for more today. He'll make a return visit to Capitol Hill.
Testifying before lawmakers for the first time since the war started, Hegseth defended the military operations during tense exchanges with Democrats, including California's John Gerrymandering.
You have been lying to the American public about this war from day one, and so has the president.
Hegseth accused congressional Democrats of being the Pentagon's biggest adversary.
You sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission.
The Pentagon says the Iran war has cost $25 billion so far. Greg Clugston, Capitol Hill.
In a social media post, President Trump says he's considering cutting the number of American troops in Germany. Mr. Trump has been upset with Germany and other NATO allies for refusing to lend a hand with the Iran war. Federal Reserve holding interest rates right where they're at. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell citing the impact of the Iran war for the decision to hold the line.
We just don't know yet, and it's so unknowable because how long will the strait be closed? You can develop any number of scenarios that you want, but we really won't know till we know. So fortunately, we're in a good place to wait and let things develop.
Powell plans to remain on the Fed's Board of Governors after his term as chairman wraps up next month. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures are up. They're 162 points higher. NASDAQ futures ahead 40 points. Townhall.com.
Right now, our Jewish friends feel forgotten. There's a Jewish woman named Esther I'd like to tell you about. In Israel, Esther is living through days and nights of fear. Sirens sounding, rockets falling, long stretches spent in a bomb shelter. At 84, Esther is elderly and alone. No help, no food deliveries, no medical care. In a war zone. But because of friends like you, Esther is not alone. Through the fellowship, you're there, bringing food, meeting urgent needs, and reminding Jewish people like Esther, you are not forgotten. Esther asked that you hear these words. To those who give, you are doing a very great mitzvah, a good deed. You give from your hearts. May God protect you. Your prayers for God's protection and for the peace of Jerusalem give Jewish people like Esther hope. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Some Mexican officials have been charged with sending huge amounts of drugs north into the U.S.
The U.S. government has charged the governor of Sinaloa and 9 other current and former Mexican officials with drug trafficking and weapons offenses in a federal indictment in New York. The charges were announced Wednesday in a news release from federal officials. Those charged in court papers unsealed in Manhattan federal court are current and former government or law enforcement officials in Sinaloa. Authorities said they have played essential roles in helping the Sinaloa drug cartel ship fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine from Mexico into the U.S. Julie Walker, New York.
The first direct commercial flight between the U.S. and Venezuela lands in Caracas today. The flight comes 7 years after the Department of Homeland Security suspended flights, citing safety concerns for its decision. News and analysis, townhall.com. Tick season is off to a fast start.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued an early advisory to the public this week to guard against ticks. The CDC's tracking system shows that weekly rates of ER visits for tick bites are the highest for this time of the year since 2017, except the south central United States. Because not every bite results in an infection, it will take time for medical experts to know whether there's an actual surge in Lyme disease or other illnesses. I'm Mike Hempen.
One of the worst hailstorms to hit Missouri killed an emu at the Springfield Zoo this week. Injured drivers, knocked out power to thousands, damaged hundreds of vehicles and even some aircraft. The largest of the softball-sized hunks of ice that pelted the Springfield area measured 4 3/4 inches across. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on 2 huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on Earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Okay, you're back on the John Fredericks Media Network and all the John Fredericks radio apps. Thanks for being with us. Truth and Clarity right here. Elaine Parker coming up. This is like Christmas, man. It came early and this is generational. The Supreme Court decision yesterday, 6-3, which basically gutted Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act that made gerrymandering districts on racial terms to get majority districts is now dead. There is no pathway for Democrats. There's nobody to sue. There's no lawsuit. There's no judges. It is finish. It's done. 35 to 40 seats are going to be gained by Republicans across the South and some of the Midwest if the governors have the balls to do something like Ron DeSantis or like Tate Reeves in Mississippi or like Landry in Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana. Mike Braun, 9 o'clock. It's over. The depth of the Democrats' defeat is beyond the pale that you can imagine. They're right now trying to figure this out. Nobody's talking about it but me. I mean, they're done. There's no seats for them to gain. Where are they going to gain a seat? Let's see. Hawaii, nope. No seats there. No Republicans there. New Hampshire, no Republicans there. Massachusetts, no Republicans there. Vermont, no Republicans there. Maine, no Republicans there. Rhode Island, no Republicans there. Where are they going to gain a seat? Maryland, 1 seat on the Eastern Shore. Okay, well then we'll sue them because you got gerrymandered seats in Baltimore that got to go. Massachusetts, yeah. Western Mass, we're going to get a seat there when we sue. You're not getting this. DeSantis once again ahead of the game. I love that governor. I tell you what, this puts DeSantis back in the national scene. I don't care what you think about him, what 2024, I don't think he should have ran against Trump. Campaign sucked. I get it. All debts are paid now. Forget it. I don't want to fight. They're all paid. All the IOUs, I tore them up. Tear them up. This is a new era starting today. It's brand new, folks. They'll never win again. My son, Joe, 21, nailed it when he was 18. Dad, when I'm done here playing ball, it's going to be 2 Americas. Red, blue. We're going to get all the Republicans, all the MAGAs going to move to 15 states. It'll be all conservative. We're not going to care what the blue states do. The federal government will become meaningless except for wars. And who cares what they do? It's a divorce. This is what the Supreme Court did yesterday. They signed the divorce papers. They signed it. It's like you got a divorce and you got, let's see, custody of all the kids. You got all the property and all the money. And they got to leave. They got a free pass out the door. Come on. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. Well, we got candy and nuts today, baby. Oh my God. Elaine Parker, she wants to talk about the economy and jobs. Dan, go to the clips yesterday. Down at the bottom there, if you can do that. We had some clips on the economy and the great jobs report, consumers coming out. I lost track of it, Dan, but if you go find that, put in the chat when you have it. I'm having too much. Was this too much fun? What was it? Mike said Johnson had gravitas. Johnson last night. Okay, first of all, he got his deal done, right? So he got his deal done. He passed it by 1 vote. And of course, you know, the last vote he needs is who else? Our good friend Victoria Sparks. That's what she does. And she came around finally, and he had to make deals on the farm bill. And who cares? I don't care what deals they made. You're funding the DHS. You're funding ice. There's no guardrails. Actually got a better bill than you had. Yesterday was a great day. So did Johnson have a gravitas? I'm not sure that's the word, Mike. He had, there's a confidence he had. He's grown in this job. And I was a believer last night. He was so good last night. He's quiet. So it's not really the Gingrich gravitas that we're accustomed to, or even the Boehner, as bad as he was. Boehner did have gravitas, right? Drank wine, smoked, cut his own grass. Okay, big guy. This is a little bit different, but there was a certainty about him last night. There was a certainty. It was, I guess you could say it was gravitas Mike in his own way, not in the Gingrich or the Boehner way, right? A little bit different. Certainly not in the Pelosi way. She's got all the gravitas you need. All right. Where am I here? I'm just having too much fun. Is Elaine on? Okay, we got Elaine Parker. Hey, don't forget, you got a big event coming up. I want you to put this on your calendar. If you're going to get to Washington, D.C., I want you to put this on your calendar. You got a huge event headlined by Morgan Griffith, Congressman, we believe, Brandon Beach, Treasurer. That's going to be on June 16th in Georgetown in the iconic City Tavern where George Washington would stop there for a drink. So that's what we're having. It's going to be a great event. I haven't got it on my site yet, but it's going to be up. But mark it on your calendar. Maybe I can get Elaine to come up. That's primary night. We're expecting a big victory there as we battle the Republican establishment here in Washington, D.C., getting 7% of the vote. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But put it on your calendar. June 16th. Tickets are going to go on sale soon. We're going to have a huge event. It's going to be huge. Huge. Let's see. Who's on here? Okay, let's get to Elaine Parker. Elaine, thanks for being with us today.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
You having fun yet?
I am having so much fun, of course. Always.
I love your governor. You guys are going to get, he's so ahead of the curve. That guy is, I'm telling you what, man, he saw this coming. And that's why he did this special session. And you guys are going to get 5 seats out of this. And now you're going to get all these other states right behind him, Louisiana, Tate Reeves, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama. What else? Arkansas. Oh, Sarah Huckabee. Hello. Time for special session, Sarah. Come on, man. You don't have anything else to do. Well, they're tired. Oh, come on, man. I want a special session. We can gain, Elaine, there are 40 seats on the table here. 40. And we're going to win them all. It's all MAGA. So, Elaine, Hakeem Jeffries crying in his beer, if he has beer. What do you think?
Well, I certainly think the Supreme Court decision yesterday opens the door to, what is happening in terms of gaining seats and redistricting. So we'll see. I mean, DeSantis, obviously, you're right. He is ahead of the game. He generally is ahead of the game. He's a great governor. He's my governor. So, I obviously think he's been fantastic during his term. I hope we get a governor just as good as he has been once his term ends. So, we'll just have to see which states continue to move in this direction. I still would love to see everyone focus on actually talking about the policies and what's working and what's quietly working for small businesses. And of course, what's not working, but a lot of things are going well for small businesses. And there's a lot of positivity for small businesses.
Elaine Parker with us. Elaine is the Senior Vice President of the Job Creators Network. More information, go to joinjcn.com, joinjcn.com, fighting for small businesses every day. What happened to her screen? We lost her. Okay, while you're getting her back, let's get to a couple of economic clips here from yesterday. Danny, let's get to clip 12. Take a look.
We do see Richmond Fed manufacturing. Everybody continues to, of course, monitor to see if onshoring and some of the issues of manufacturing are picking up a bit. This particular read is better than expected for April. We're looking at 3 versus an expectation of 1. That's the high water mark of the year. As a matter of fact, you have to go all the way back to February of 25 to find a positive number of 3. To find a higher number, you're back to April of 2022.
Okay, Elaine, comment on that.
Well, look, I mean, yesterday we saw the Fed once again keep rates steady. So on his last meeting, on his way out the door, he gave the middle finger to the American people again and kept rates steady. You know, the things that are working for small businesses are the tax cuts and the deregulation. The thing that's not working is lower interest rates, which would allow them to take greater advantage of the policies that were passed in the Big Beautiful Bill Act. And so, you know, Kevin Warsh understands that, and coming in as the new Fed chair, he can't get there soon enough. And, you know, it's a shame that the Fed didn't lower interest rates. But we do see investment from small businesses. We do see the fact that the jobs numbers last month were good in spite of the spike in inflation. And what we can say about inflation is that this inflation number is truly transitory because it is a direct reflection of what's happening in Iran and the spike in oil costs. And so what we know is that had the president not come in and had a drill baby drill policy, our prices would be much higher right now, spiking much more. I mean, you just have to look around the world and see what they're dealing with. But because this president came in and had a policy of our prices are not as bad. And once this war is over, once the conflict is done, we will see prices come back to normal and that spike will go away because oil drives so much. I mean, inflation came in at 3.3%. It is above what the Fed targets. But core inflation, when you remove energy, is about 2.6%. But when you still look at that 3.3% number, so much is included in oil. I mean, how do you get those products to the shelf? You have to use oil to get them there. Trucks have to get them there to get inventory on the shelves. So that's what's driving all of this inflation. So to use a word from the Biden administration, transitory, which I hated back then because it wasn't true because it was such reckless spending. Today, it is more true than ever.
That's such good analysis, Elaine. That's really good. That's really good. It is, yes. Transitory. It drove us both nuts. That was Janet Yellen's word. We knew that it was a lie and a joke. Nobody even knew what it meant. But you're right. This inflation that we're having is transitory because it's based on a war in oil prices and futures markets. And as soon as that's over, they all come down. So he absolutely nailed it. Great analysis, Elaine. Is that from being in Florida?
Thanks, John.
That's really good analysis. That's good. And I know you want to talk policy, so I'm going to indulge you in it. I don't really want to talk policy. I just want to talk about putting ballots in boxes because that's really all that matters to me now. There's no policy. It's how many ballots can you put in the box. That's what we've come down to. And how many more red seats we're going to pick up. That's what I'm focused on. But I love your spirit in policy. So therefore, in order to inspire me, we're going to go to cut 13, roll this, and then we're going to get more unbelievable, in-depth, insightful, concise, and cogent analysis by Elaine Parker. Roll.
Indeed, we're looking for our April read on consumer confidence. The headline number expected to be under 90. It comes in stronger than expected. 92.8 is the new reading for April, and that follows an upward revision from 91.8 to 92.2. 92.8 is the high watermark of the year. You have to go back to the last month of 2025 to find a higher number. 123.8 present situation. That's over 3 points higher than expected. And sequentially, a bit higher than our last look. 123.8 would be the highest level going back to the November read of last year. And finally, what are we looking at ahead? Expectations. 72.2, we are looking for a number around 69. 72.2 will be the best read since February of 72.6.
So We're told every day by the fake news, by the liars in the fake news, we're told every day how our life sucks, how nobody has any confidence, how Trump's polling numbers are the worst in recorded history, how he can't run the economy, that's in the 30s, nobody likes him, everybody's pissed, nobody has any money, everybody's depressed. That's what they're telling us every day. But then we look at the consumer confidence index and it's reached a high mark. Where's the disconnect here, Elaine?
Well, 70% of our economy is consumer spending, and the consumer continues to show that it's strong and steady spending is happening. The economy, in spite of what you're hearing on the news, like I said, the economy is quietly doing well. Small businesses are quietly investing. We've got investment in AI. We've got investment in inventories, refilling the shelves, basically. We've got strong corporate earnings coming in. The consumer is strong. All of those things point back to the policies passed under the Trump administration with the big, beautiful bill, tax cuts, deregulation, drill, baby, drill. All of the policies that are there are working. They're just not being talked about. And today we actually have GDP earnings coming in. They're expected to come in a little over 2%. I think it'll probably come in stronger. Hopefully, the mainstream media will cover the GDP earnings report. But my guess is we would get a lot more coverage if it was a low number than we'll get if it's a very high number. They won't want to talk about it if it's a high number, but it is expected to come in very, very strong.
So explain to our audience exactly what the GDP earnings number is that's coming out today.
Well, it obviously shows how well the economy's been doing for the last quarter. This will be first quarter of 2026, where we get a true measure of how the economy is doing in terms of economic growth. And what we see when we do look below the headlines, which doesn't take a lot, but the mainstream media does not want to talk about any of these things, is we see strong investment, we see job growth, we see wage growth. We've got, with the big, beautiful bill, we just had tax day. 50 million Americans took advantage of all the new individual tax provisions, like the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and the Social Security deduction that was passed under there. 50 million Americans got more money back and was able to keep more of their hard-earned money. The small businesses were able to take advantage. 26 million small businesses take advantage of that 20% pass-through deduction. And of course, the investment deduction, immediate expensing on capital equipment, that is causing all of this investment in terms of AI and other technology into small businesses, which is helping them be more productive. All of these things are happening in spite of what the news is reporting, and these numbers are continue to show it, whether it's GDP. Inflation is still at a very low level in terms of what we dealt with under the Biden administration. If you think about it, even with when we had high gas prices under the Biden administration, the government spending was out of control, and the inflation was out of control. Inflation has been tamed. We have a spike right now, yes. Gas prices are higher, yes. But it is directly attributable to one thing, which is causing the high gas prices. And when that is over, the prices will come down.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
No breakfast yet this morning.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're at the top of your game today. That's another great analysis of our GDP. And you're right, it will get no coverage by the fake news. It'll get one line, no coverage, because they have to find some bad news somewhere. And I don't know what they're going to do now. What do you do when consumer confidence is up, consumer spending is up, inflation is transitory, and the core pieces of inflation are tame, they're down? What do you say? Right? It's all lies. That's all they've been doing is lying to us. And this thing is all going to blow up in their face. Eventually, Elaine, the truth will set you free. You know, you said one other thing that's very, we fail to talk about this stuff. But you said one other thing that is so right for small businesses. And that is, when you look at the one big beautiful bill, the 100% deduction of new investments in the capital equipment, the 20% deduction in passing through to your personal taxes. But the thing that you have to remember is when this first went down, everybody, it was temporary. That now there's a permanence to it. So now what's happening is just in our little company, right? Now, because we know it's permanent, like last year we wouldn't do anything because we didn't know if it would even be there, right? This year, because we know it's permanent, investment decisions that our CEO, Ann, right now is looking at and evaluating is based on the certainty of the one big beautiful bill and the 100% capital write-off for capital investment. So we're looking at different things now, Ann, is because of the certainty of that. That's the other thing that's baked in the cake that nobody sees. Am I right there?
You're right. I mean, the key word there is certainty. And last year, early in the year, small businesses, the entire country was facing a $5 trillion tax increase if this bill had not been passed, and the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was going to expire at the end of last year. And that uncertainty really caused a lot of turmoil in the economy, and small businesses didn't invest because of that. Because that bill was passed in July and it was retroactive to January, we started seeing the investment. We saw foreign investment come into the country. We saw factories being committed to being built. We saw small businesses hiring. That is, even in spite of the spike in inflation, the jobs report was still very good last month. And about 3/4 of the jobs created last month were driven by small businesses. So they're not concerned about the spike in oil prices because they're still hiring. And because of the Trump administration, because President Trump is reducing government roles by about 350,000 jobs right now, we're starting to see some improvement from what we saw under the Biden administration, where about half of those jobs created under that administration was either government or quasi-government. That's how they were getting jobs, is not through the private sector, but through government jobs.
Elaine Parker on fire this morning. No breakfast. Maybe that's the key. Could be, Elaine. But you need protein, so go eat. In the meantime, you can follow Elaine. Just go to joinjcn.com, joinjcn.com. Join them now. Elaine Parker, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your very insightful, cogent analysis today, economic analysis. Oxman coming up here on the John Fredericks Media Network. Stay with us.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Tired of fumbling for your phone, wallet, or keys? Don't put it in your pants, put it in your pocket. Meet T-Pocket, the practical tees, the shirt that keeps it all in reach. Designed in the USA, assembled in the South, these tees feature smart built-in pockets for easy access. Long sleeve, short sleeve, available in most colors, with your favorite teams and logos to come later. Shop the full lineup now at tpocket.net. Fast shipping, easy ordering. Grab yours today and level up your everyday carry. Put it in your pocket with T-Pocket. tpocket.net.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
This show knows things before anybody else is transmitting it. I said 5 minutes after we make a deal, the price of crude oil is going to go down $20 a barrel. Well, it went down $20 a barrel today. It did. 15 days from now, and if it looks like we have a good deal, it'll go down another $25 a barrel.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
And that's a good sign for us, obviously, and for the free world.
Trying to get our 2 boys ready to carry them to the golf tournament for practice, right? 12 cats live across the road. Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke, so you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Meow, looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America.
It's Godzilla!
No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, you're back. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Coming live in Washington, D.C., Dan Ochsner. Well, he's coming up. He's in Minnesota. Hey, guess what? Lawsuits are coming, baby. So somebody in Minnesota is going to sue because they have gerrymandered, unconstitutional minority-majority districts. See ya, Omar. Hey, this is like Christmas come early, baby. Every day is Christmas in the famous words of John Boehner. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be like Christmas. Well, they are. And that's what has happened today with the Supreme Court ruling Ochsner, the Oxman, coming up in a few moments. First, though, I tell you what is this? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We had 7 months. 7 months to gain a majority in the House that will last for a generation, a MAGA generation. 7 months. Every day matters. What are you doing every day to save the country? Because we're going to pick up 40 seats in this ruling, and they can't win. And once we win this, they'll never win again. See, all their seats are gone. They've already done all this. Now they're going to start we'll start peeling back. But look, that means you got to be at the top of your game like Elaine was today. There's a lot of pressure on Ox now. Elaine Parker at the top of her game today. A lot of pressure. But so you can't get sick. Get sick after November. Then you can get sick. Can't get sick now. What happens if things are not going well? You got a cold coming on. You got COVID, right? Something goes down. You can feel the sore throat. No. All you got to do is get your medical emergency kit from the wellness company. I got 3 of them. Why you say, John, how come you're never out sick? Dan was out sick the other day. Why? Because Dan doesn't have a medical emergency kit. And Dan, I can't buy it for you. I love to, but I can't do it because these are prescription drugs. You got to go online to the wellness company, Dan. You got to go to twc.health/Godzilla, promo code Godzilla to get 10% off. You got to engage with a doctor, Dan. I can't send this to you. You got to answer the questions. And when you do that, you can get your medical emergency kit. So, Dan, when you had that stomach ache and you thought you had food poisoning, zip this baby up. As soon as it comes on, you look at it, food poisoning, stomach ache. What do I take? All the medication's right there. And instead of being sick for the weekend, you're sick maybe for one night, you get better, and then you go to Richmond, downtown, and play that Frisbee game, whatever it is that you play. Instead, you're in bed. Why? Danny, you're killing yourself, man. All you got to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla. Get your medical emergency kit. Saxman's got one. I even got Morrissey to get it. Joe Morrissey throws quarters around like manhole covers. He bought one for his family. You get Morrissey to buy one of these, you know it's good. So all you got to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla. Get your medical emergency kit there. Do it now. Don't wait. Because when you wait, then you don't have it. See, this is one of these things where you don't need it until you need it. And then if you have it or you don't have it. And then if you try to get it when you need it, it takes like a week and then you don't have it. Makes no sense. I'm here to spread the love so you can be at the top of your game between now and November. Speaking of that, Danny, put this on your calendar. June 16th, my event. Yes, you're coming. Who's going to do a show in the morning? Coleman. Tell him now. And Ox is coming too. Ox, you got to come on the 16th. I'm at a big event, election night, but you can't be sick. twc.health/Godzilla, promo code Godzilla, 10% off. Get your medical emergency kit now. Joining us now, Ox is with us. Hey, Dan.
Hello, John Fredericks. Nice to be on with you, sir.
Ox, you fired up today?
Kind of fired up. I was telling your producer, Dan, though, I'm a little groggy and hungry, but that's sort of like my normal morning.
Are you grumpy in the morning?
Not grumpy, just a little groggy. I'm always in a good mood, though, of course.
That you are in a good mood. I have to say that. I've never seen the Ox in a bad mood.
Yeah, I'm pretty good like that.
Never.
If I am in a bad mood, I hide it, keep it secret.
Yeah, I've never seen you in a bad mood because you and I have a lot in common. But the main thing we have in common, the number one main thing that ties us together, is we both married way up.
That's fact.
I tell the boys, not my daughter. I don't tell her that. I tell this to the boys. You marry up. It's the key to life, right? Just
one of them.
It is the key. It is the key to life is marrying up. Everything else will work out if you do that, and then keep mama happy, and your life will be good. No question about it. Now, Dan, this is like Christmas in April, right?
I'm just getting going this morning. You know, it's an hour earlier here. I know not of what you speak.
The Supreme Court ruling yesterday, 6-3, basically gutted Section 2 of the Civil Rights Act, which maintains the ability to gerrymander congressional districts for minority majority representation. That got struck down. All of these districts around the country in red states that have minority majority gerrymander districts are dead. Now, the carve out is that the Supreme Court left it up to the states. They didn't mandate it federally. States can do what they want. States want to keep the district, fine. They don't want to keep it, fine. But there's no lawsuit. So every red state, all they have to do, and they're doing it now, led by DeSantis, all they got to do is convene a special session and get new maps. And the new maps are based on no minority, majority, racially inspired districts, because that's gone. And once they do that, the Democrats have nobody to sue. Who are they going to sue? Well, the Supreme Court already made the decision. So you're done. So now it just takes Republican governors with balls to have special sessions to get rid of these maps right now. And we could gain 40 seats in perpetuity. This is a generational ruling by the Supreme Court, because if the governors do this, they'll never win again. There's no math for them to win. When the census comes out in 2030, double whammy, they're going to lose more seats. And these are all MAGA seats because they're all in deep red states. Seats to gain in Florida. I'm going to go down the list. Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, you name it. All those Democrat gerrymandered seats racially gone. If the governors call the special session right now and get rid of them, if they have the balls to do that. Many are. Tate Reeves in Mississippi already said, day this comes out, special session the next day. That's going to be Monday. Good for him. But we need all these governors to do that. Then here's what else happens. If you look at your map in Minnesota, right? If one of those districts, if a couple of those districts are gerrymandered along racial lines, Republicans can file suit against it and win the suit, and then the maps have to change. So there's no seats for the Democrats to gain because they already gerrymandered everything. All they can do is lose seats. They can't gain any. There's nothing for them to gain. This is what everybody is like missing here. And the Democrats say, well, it's up to the states. Well, yeah. We run all the states where all the seats are. I mean, what am I missing?
Yeah, it's a big deal for sure. And if that can change, that's great. And I'm just the nuances as far as Minnesota goes might be a little tricky. Our lines are always drawn by the courts. Excuse me. It's constitutionally mandated that the legislature is supposed to draw the lines. Maybe that's common for most states. If the legislature can't agree, then the courts draw the lines. So our legislature has never been able to agree. So the courts are always drawing the lines. The courts are inherently liberal more and more all the time. Certainly our Supreme Court is.
If your court in Minnesota is drawing a district based on Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act, that is now unconstitutional and illegal. So a Republican can bring a suit that this district is illegal, which it is. And so they have to get it redrawn so it's not racially gerrymandered. That's all. I mean, maybe it's still, it still stays in Democrat hands because there's Democrats in Minneapolis and that's what they do.
Yeah.
But if the seat is set up in order to comply with Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act, gone. Can't do anything about it. Supreme Court ruled. There's nobody to sue.
So what you're saying, John Fredericks, is in November, there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
No, it's beyond the chance. It's done. They can't win. All we need to do is get these governors up off their fat asses to call special sessions today, like Tate Reeves did in Mississippi today, like DeSantis did 2 days ago. Call special sessions and redraw the maps along constitutional grounds. Every map will get redrawn. All these gerrymandered districts are gone. They'll all be filled by Republicans, all MAGA, because there's no more rhinos. We ran them out of the party. They're gone, especially in the South. So we're talking about a 30 to 40 seat difference in just seats gone, plus 30. Then they're going to knock out the Virginia thing. That's another 4 they were counting on. Those are gone. Right. They're not going to win any of those seats. So it's over. If the Republican governors, like DeWine in Ohio, have the balls to get the General Assembly back in. Bill Lee in Tennessee. We just had a session. Everybody's tired. They got to get back to work. I don't think we can do it. Marsha Blackburn, running for governor, comes out and says, We need a special session Monday. Bill, get up off your fat ass and get it done.
Amen. Yeah, this is an opportunity. Far cry from last time we were together a week and a day ago, looking at the results from the Virginia vote, eh?
I mean, Hakeem Jeffries in 8 days just went from I'm speaker, look at me, yay, to I'm in a perpetual minority. I have no chance of being speaker ever. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I'm done. Because, and then when you get the census in 2030, it's going to get worse because everybody's gone to the South and they're not going to be able to count the illegals, which we're getting out and no more coming in. So that's another 10, 12, 15 seats we'll pick up. They'll never have the majority in the House again if the governors do the right thing. That's why I'm fired up today.
I guess you are. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, I mean, I had not put all that together. So that's why we rely on you, oh Godzilla of the truth.
You know what? So somebody I forgot about Georgia. You're right. Somebody just on the Getter chat, Rosha, who I never read her text because they're in caps, which drives me bat crap crazy. I don't know why you put the cap thing on it. I can't read it. Stupid. But just said Brian Kemp in Georgia. I left that out. He needs to call a special session because there's gerrymandered districts there that are now illegal.
So just hearing about this, what's the rub with the Tennessee governor? What's his problem?
Oh, he's like, well, we just had a special session and everybody's tired and, they're citizen legislators and they all got to get back to work and Okay, I got an idea. If you don't want to do this because you got to get back to work, retire, get out. You play to win the game. If you can't do it, get out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Seize the moment. Carpe diem.
And collect your per diem. Right? Exactly.
Oh, Dan, I want to get your thoughts here.
Well, it's exciting. Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity, no question. And if you're right about what you're saying, it makes you rewind in life and just wonder, how did this happen all these years? How did we live under these laws all these years and actually suffer with these districts the way they've been drawn and just accepting them? This is a whole new frontier that we're dealing with here.
I mean, you got to call the special sessions. And thanks for reminding me, Rusha, about Georgia. I forgot that. We can pick 2 seats up there. Let's go, Brian. Call the special session. What are you waiting for? Let's go. It's all right there. It's all right there in front of you. It's perpetuitous majority.
We've desperately needed some good news here, a breath of fresh air.
And, good news.
Even just, hanging out with my friend Tom Emmer, my congressman, the congressional whip, thinking, well, in 2 years, I wonder who's going to be in this office. Well, looks like him.
I don't know. I think so. Let's get some phone calls here. Let's get line 3, John in New Jersey. You're with John and the Ox. Go ahead.
Hey, Johnny, I had a question for you. But yeah, you're 1,000% right. This is land. I mean, this crushes the Democratic Party. I've been waiting for this decision. I've been calling your show for a long time. I've been following this for a long time. I've been waiting on this decision for months now. It's actually 2 months delayed. They were trying to play games with us. Here's what I need to ask you. Now, when you look at some of these states up in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, can Republicans, I didn't know if I heard you right, can Republicans now go and challenge those maps as unconstitutional?
Yes.
In the Democratic states?
Yes. Every single one.
So we can go up there and start filing lawsuits?
Yes. Yeah, the maps are illegal. There's nowhere for the Democrats here to go. There's nowhere to go. There's nobody to sue. There's no shopping a judge in San Francisco. The Supreme Court ruled these are unconstitutional and wiped out and gutted Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act. So you're going to file lawsuits all over the place if these maps don't change and get rid of that because they're not constitutional. Doesn't mean we're going to pick the seat up. Doesn't mean we're going to pick the seat up, but we'll have a chance. The way they're drawn now, you can't do it because it's drawn to be a majority district. That's the way it was drawn under the Civil Rights Act. It's gone. So Massachusetts lawsuit, Minnesota law, any map that has these is now under assault. If Republicans seize the moment, carpe diem, seize the moment. If they do that, they'll be successful. If they don't, it'll be just another lost opportunity in a long line of Republican lost opportunities. It's going to be up to
who adjudicates this? Do we know? Who adjudicates if you file a lawsuit? Who adjudicates it? Is it the state Supreme Court?
Well, it'll go to, like in Minnesota, it would go to the state Supreme Court, which which no longer has the authority to do a map based on what the Supreme Court ruled as unconstitutional. Now, they can draw another Democratic map, but it can't be drawn to ensure a minority representative is in that district. Doesn't mean it's going to be Republican, but they can't have it drawn the way it's drawn now. They have to change that. So they're done. I mean, the Democrats haven't even grasped what happened yesterday at 12 o'clock. They're cooked if we seize the moment. And the pressure that MAGA and all of us have to put on every Republican governor in every red state, Sarah Huckabee, Brian Kemp, right down the line, McMaster, all of them, every single one. Special session today. Maps gone tomorrow. Republican seats Wednesday. That's it. This is not rocket science. DeSantis style, baby. That's what we need. Dan, go ahead. What we got another caller for Dan. Who do we have here? I'm sorry. You got so many things here in this chat. Is there somebody else on, Dan?
We have Vic in Florida on line one.
Vic, go.
Good morning, Don, and good morning, John, and good morning, Dan. John, I think I got more good news for you. More good news, John. It's like an embarrassment of riches this morning. And maybe this will help the Oxman wake up and get out of that Midwestern funk. Because, John, you are on a roll, and you're sounded fantastic. And Elaine Parker sounded fantastic. And your enthusiasm is absolutely contagious, John. John, I'm going to add a new nickname to your list of nicknames. You are the MAGA maven, John, of retail politics. And you're bringing light to a very important subject, what you've been talking about. Because fundamentally, John, a lot of people, they may be enthusiastic for President Trump and they may be MAGA, but they don't always understand the elements of how districts are constructed and so forth. And what you brought bringing light to this morning is very important because the mainstream media will obviously downplay it. Before I tell you the good news, John, I want to point out that I hate to sound like a cynic, but fluid situations, John, can be ripe for exploitation. We both know this because we're mature men who've been around the block a few times. And what is happening in the great state of Maine right now is absolutely extraordinary. And extraordinary circumstances also present opportunities, John. Janet Mills, term limited out, two-term governor. She is 78 years old. I think she'll be one of the oldest if she were elected. If she were able to beat Susan Collins for that Senate seat, she'd be probably the oldest person in the United States Senate. Her campaign is collapsing, John. This is happening very, very rapidly. Her campaign is collapsing. There are several reasons for this. Probably I saw an interview with former Governor Paul LePage from another venue, and you should have him on. Governor Paul LePage, he's running for Maine's congressional 2nd district seat, which I think he'll win.
Just so you know, I only have a minute, so you gotta get to the bottom here.
So I think we have an opportunity for a trifecta in Maine, John. And the governor's race, it's down to two people right now, Bobby Charles and Ben Midgley, who I think are both strong candidates. Our hapless friend Jonathan Bush was last seen swinging a samurai, what appears to be a samurai sword over his head in some kind of commercial. He's going to cut the spending and taxes in Maine. But we have great opportunities up there. The situation's very fluid, John. We'll talk soon, and we're going to keep an eye on this because it's as you said last week, Maine is fascinating. Talk to you soon, John.
We're going to go up there on a bus tour. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Ox, people want to follow you quickly. Where do they go?
At Hot Talk with Ox or KNSIRadio.com.
All right. Corey Lewandowski next. Keep it right here on the John Fredericks Media Network.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Port.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A veteran U.S. Senator has met with the head of the Secret Service discussing last weekend's security incident, the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa was briefed by Secret Service Director Sean Curran on the security threat.
We're going to get a thorough review by the Secret Service of what went on.
During an interview in his Senate office, Grassley told the Salem radio network that the agency is closely reviewing its security posture.
It's too early for them to say if they may change any protocols.
The 92-year-old Grassley was the highest-ranking official in the presidential line of succession, not in attendance at last weekend's dinner. Greg Clugston, Capitol Hill.
President Trump is not ruling out a resumption of military strikes on Iran as the Iranian leadership refuses to let go of its nuclear ambitions. Mr. Trump insists the blockade of Iranian ports, which he says has been wildly successful, will continue until Iran cries uncle, as the president puts it. Look for more of this today on Capitol Hill.
Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes. And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission. Your hatred for President Trump blinds you.
Secretary of War Hegseth sparring with a Democrat member of the House Armed Services Committee who would accuse Hegseth and the president of lying about the Iran war. Now, today, Hegseth heads back to the Hill. He'll testify before a Senate committee. The Florida legislature has approved a new Republican-friendly congressional map, one proposed by Governor Ron DeSantis. On Wall Street this morning, ahead of the opening bell, the Dow futures up 299 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
An appeals court rejects an attempt by the New Zealand mosque gunman to withdraw his guilty pleas for the 2019 Christchurch attack.
New Zealand's Court of Appeal has rejected an attempt by Brenton Tarrant to withdraw his guilty pleas. Brenton Tarrant shot and killed 51 Muslims and injured dozens more in March 2019 when he drove to 2 Christchurch mosques and opened fire with semi-automatic weapons during Friday prayers. Tarrant, a white supremacist, has claimed harsh prison conditions led to his involuntary admission of guilt. The court dismissed his appeal, noting it was filed 505 days past the deadline and that the evidence against him was overwhelming. Judges also found his mental illness claims inconsistent and unsupported by professionals. Tarrant is serving a life sentence without parole. I'm Karen Shamas.
News and analysis, townhall.com. In Colombia, hippos introduced by Pablo Escobar in the 1980s become a big issue.
The population has grown to around 200, causing safety concerns for locals and tourists. The government plans to euthanize about 80 hippos to control the population, sparking a heated debate. Some scientists support the plan, while animal welfare activists call it murder. Locals worry that removing the hippos will harm tourism. Efforts to relocate the animals have stalled due to high costs and legal issues. The government is considering confinement and international transfers as alternatives. Keith Peters reporting.
Jerome Powell plans to remain on the board of the Federal Reserve after his term as chairman runs out next month. Powell, frequently a thorn in the side of President Trump, says he'll be sticking around for an undetermined period of time. More on these stories, townhall.com.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Hey parents, plan an unforgettable summer. Send your kids to Rapidan Baptist Camp in Rochelle, Virginia. 1 week of nonstop fun and life-changing truth. Amazing preachers, friendly counselors, exciting activities. Ride an alpine coaster and zip line, a 250-foot water slide, and that's just the beginning. Junior camps for ages 7 to 12, teen camps for 13 to 18, 2-day Pee-wee camp with mom and dad for ages 4 to 8, and a brand new day camp option. Sign up today at camprapidan.com. That's camprapidan.com. Rapidan Baptist Camp, where faith and fun collide.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
In a time when everything feels political, one place must rise above it all: the courtroom, where the law rules and integrity matters. In 2020, Georgians came together, electing a justice who believes in protecting our courts.
I'm Georgia Supreme Court Justice Sarah Warren, and here's what I believe.
I believe in the rule of law, the separation of powers, and a judge's limited role to interpret the law as written. I believe in a nonpartisan judiciary, impartial judges who don't advocate for political positions or outcomes. I believe in deciding cases without bias or favor, treating everyone with dignity and respect. As a justice on your Supreme Court, I've upheld these values. With your support, we'll maintain the integrity of our courts.
Vote to re-elect Justice Sarah Warren. Vote early starting April 27th or on Election Day, May 19th. Paid for by Georgians for Justice Warren, Inc.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
He's your Godzilla of the truth in America. No gibberish or nonsense, just common sense. And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network and all the John Fredericks radio apps coming live in Washington, D.C. I am your Godzilla of the truth in America. Well, today is Christmas for MAGA. Christmas come early. We're going to pick up 40 seats. If the governors actually do something. Do something. Kind of like the Red Sox. Do something. The Bruins did something. They beat the Sabres in Game 5. Bringing it back to Buffalo, I lost that bet. I shouldn't have bet against Lewandowski. I knew it. As soon as I put that bet in, I'm like, Boston's going to win like Game 5 after getting clobbered twice at home. What? I should have bet against Lewandowski. I knew it. I knew if I did that, I was going to lose. When I put the money in the machine, I knew like it was just a loser. But, you know, some things you have to do. But I did get a good night's sleep last night because every night I take my REM sleep from Healthy Cell. Now, if you want a good night's sleep and you want to feel better when you wake up and jump out of bed with all this energy, like I do every day, even though my Astros suck and they're in last place, I still jump out of bed every day. Why? Because before I go to bed, Ann and I take REM sleep. So does Joe, the ball player. So does my whole family, because you need to get a good night's sleep. But what REM sleep does from Healthy Cell is it supports your 4 foundations of sleep and gets you that REM sleep where you have a lot of dreams. That's when your body rejuvenates. And, you know, I only get 6 hours a night. 6.5 for me is a big night. 7 on the weekends. But you know what? I got to jump out of bed and be ready to go. So whatever sleep I get, it's got to be deep sleep. And that's what I get with REM sleep. The most important thing you can do for your body is get a good night's sleep. And it's very inexpensive. Just go to healthycell.com, healthycell.com, promo code Godzilla. Going to get you 20% off. Healthycell.com, promo code Godzilla, get you 20% off. Get your REM sleep today. It's instant. 15 minutes before you go to bed. Doesn't take a week. Takes 15 minutes. Boom. Fall into a deep sleep. All natural. No drugs in it. All natural. Puts you in that deep sleep. I swear by it. Joining us now, my good friend. Haven't seen him in a while. Corey Lewandowski in New Hampshire. Hey, Corey, great to have you with us.
Hey, John, how are you today?
Good. You're looking good. Hey, sorry about the Red Sox. Fired your manager. Probably should have signed Bregman back. So we'll get to politics in a minute. But they did win the other night. So they got a new manager. And the Bruins won. And now they get back home. Are they going to get beat at home again? I don't see it.
Look, John, not only do they fire the manager at the Red Sox, they fired the whole coaching staff, which, by the way, is, I thought I actually had a chance at the job. If there's any job in America I could have, I'd love to be the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Like, how great would that be, to be honest with you, right? And I love Jason Veritek. He's been a great Red Sox family member for a long, long time. Too bad to see him go. But, right after they fired those guys, the Sox put 17 points on the board, 17-1 against the brutal, Orioles, the most runs they've scored since 1974. So, look, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. It's a long season. You know how baseball is. It's a grind. So look, we'll see how they do. The Celtics are playing well. The Bruins are playing well. It's always a good time to be a Boston sports fan.
I don't see how the Bruins are going to get beat. I mean, they went to Buffalo, and I bet the Sabres. I thought you lose 2 games at home, you're done, and they looked horrible. And the fourth game, the Sabres like crushed them. It was like 7-0, and I turned the thing off. Or 6-0. And then they go to Buffalo and they beat them in overtime or something. So, they come home. They're not going to lose another game at the Garden. Then it goes 7. and then it's hockey, 7 games. Who knows?
You never know. And listen, the Celtics have been playing well. The Bruins, look, home court advantage is huge. The Bruins have to win at home. That's what it is. When you go on the road, that's when you get paid to play. You get paid the big bucks to go and win in the opponent's stadium, in the opponent's turf. So the Bruins have to deliver at home first before they go and carry on.
All right. We'll see what happens. We're not going to talk about the Astros, the Disastros. Last place, everybody's injured. It's just a catastrophe. Let's get on to politics and the incredible news yesterday that I feel like I'm the only guy in the country covering this. This ruling by SCOTUS 6-3 gutted Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act. All these maps that have gerrymandered, racially inspired districts in the minority majority, they're all now unconstitutional. But what the Supreme Court did is they didn't make this a federal mandate. They left it up to each individual state. So now the Republican governors in these states, all they have to do is call a special section, redo these maps. There's nowhere for the Democrats to go. They can't sue anybody because it's a Supreme Court ruling. So we can pick up 40 seats. What's the holdup, Corey Lewandowski?
John, this is a historic ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. That doesn't mean the Democrats aren't going to challenge new maps. They will. But the fact that the Supreme Court has already litigated this will just mean that this will get kicked down from the lower courts and say, hey, you have no standing. But what's really happening now, John, and let's take Louisiana as an example. There's a House primary coming up there very soon. They have had to always have a historical black district in New Orleans proper because of the Voters' Rights Act. Now, Governor Jeff Landry from Louisiana is thinking about calling a special session to redo those maps, as all of these governors are, and for good reason. This notion that you have to have a historical Democrat, meaning African-American or minority district, is now out the window. And what we should do is have the best representation from everybody, regardless of your race, religion, ethnicity, or creed. So if we can draw congressional maps, and maybe what we can do is have some equity or fairness in this, we can have the right people in Congress. Because what we saw last week, John, just a week ago, and one day in Virginia was a tragedy. Now that the Supreme Court has ruled, it gives us an opportunity to have fair and safe redistricting that will benefit everybody.
How many seats could we pick up if all the governors acted?
Well, look, John, I know we've got a lot of Republican governors out there. Some are weaker than others. Let's just be very clear, right? We have an opportunity here to actually save the midterms if they want to act quickly. The midterms are right around the corner. We've got these congressionals, as you know, some of these primaries are right around the corner, literally next Tuesday in a number of states. Ohio, you've got Texas right around the corner. So if we're going to do this, it has to be an emergency issue, an emergency stay, and that means we'd have to have these governors act quickly. I think there are governors, without beating up on Mike DeWine and others who are leaving, who have no interest in actually doing this under a special session right now. So we'd have to look to those governors that have backbone and wherewithal to do this and say, listen, the Supreme Court has ruled. We now have an opportunity to go and actually have better representation, meaning not determined solely based on the color of your skin.
Okay, so let's go through them. Let's start with Florida. That's done. DeSantis already did that. He's already got it passed. So, but he did those maps before this ruling. So, could there be another seat that he could pick up possibly?
Well, there absolutely is. Look, Florida continues to increase its population base, which means you're seeing less and you're seeing more and more people from the Northeast coming down to Florida because of the climate, the tax climate, the weather, all of those things. Again, it's going to depend on the legislature. You've got Governor DeSantis, who's been very forward-leaning on finding new congressional districts and a new map. That being said, yesterday changes everything. This Supreme Court decision cannot be overstated on how important it is for the future of elections. For the last 70 years, John, we have had congressional districts that have been based solely on the color of a person's skin and not on the content or the quality of the district or the equal representation. This ruling yesterday now dictates 6-3 that we no longer have to gerrymander districts to ensure that a certain demographic of the population is given the opportunity to serve in Congress.
You're an advisor to Governor Landry in Louisiana. What is his is he having a special session immediately? What has been your advice to the governor?
Yeah, I wouldn't get in front of Governor Landry on this, but there is some public news out there that the governor is looking at this very closely. Look, my advice is the governor should look at all the options. Obviously, this ruling, I think, was somewhat unexpected, John, to be very honest with you. The makeup of the court has not been one that has traditionally favored Republicans, even though most have been appointed by Republican presidents. We've got some liberals on that court that haven't really done us very well. So this ruling yesterday, I think, caught a lot of people off guard. It's a win for the American people, in my opinion. And I think Governor Landry and his team right now are looking at what those realistic options are and what the cost is, the price tag to suspend the potential congressional elections that are scheduled to take place and redraw these maps immediately with the help of the legislature and then have some more equity in place.
So let's go over the states. Florida's done. So we've got Louisiana, right? Arkansas with Sarah Huckabee, Tennessee with Bill Lee. He's already chafing at the whole thing, whining about he doesn't want to bring his people back. They have to go to work or some nonsense. Marsha Blackburn, senator who's running for governor, blasted the whole thing and said they need to call the special session today. So we're fighting in Tennessee. Georgia, I don't know what Brian Kemp is going to do. I don't know why he wouldn't call a special session and get. He's got probably 2 seats there that would be gone, right? 2 of them. So you got that. You've got South Carolina McMaster, friend of yours also. And you go from there. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves has already called it, I think, for Monday, I believe. He was the first one out of the box. You've also got a seat in Alabama. Mississippi's done. I'm not sure what I missed. Arkansas, you got like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You got probably 30 seats. Mike got Governor Braun in Indiana today at 9. He's going to call them back. I mean, we could pick 35 seats up here.
Well, John, listen, this is the difference, truly, between the Democrats taking over the midterms and taking over control of Congress and impeaching Donald Trump again, or having these Republican governors have some backbone, stand up, use the Supreme Court decision, which is now the rule of law, to go and change the districts. Look, is it hard work, John? Of course it is, but we hire these people to do hard work. And some of these governors, a number that you have already mentioned, are leaving office. They are term limited out. So there is no reason that they could not go and do this immediately and have a legacy behind them. This is a project, John, that has legacy implications for the generations to come. Not just 1 or 2 elections, but many, many elections down the road. And what you will see now is the opportunity, if drawn properly, to put everybody together and let the voters decide if they want a specific minority representation in Congress that's absolutely available to them, if they want somebody else that's available to them. But the Supreme Court has been made very clear. Just because of the color of your skin, no longer are you drawn a specific district.
I think this is what everybody's missing, right? Now, look, I mean, the other thing is you got AOC coming out and say, well, we need to do the same thing. This is how stupid she is. They don't have any more seats available. They've already
done it, John. They've already gerrymandered to the point where, listen, AOC is so myopic on this thing, doesn't understand it, that what she doesn't understand is, don't forget, that district she used to be an African-American district, but the population in New York has changed. They used to call it Black Harlem, John. That's not a pejorative, just what it used to be. And now it's become Spanish Harlem because the populations change all the time. And so most of those congressional districts in New York have benefited from the gerrymandering of ensuring that there is a minority district in that state. Well, if you look at the totality of New York and you look at the population base, if they just make the lines even, completely agnostic to where these individuals live, you're going to see a very different New York delegation coming.
I know there's nothing they can do about it. That's the thing. And then you're going to get Republicans that are going to be suing in states that have been gerrymandered, that the governor's not going to do anything. Obviously, they're going to try to protect the seats, but you're going to get Republican suits, and those seats are going to have to get redrawn. Constitutionally, they can't stand.
Well, that's right. And look, let's see what happens in Virginia. I know the voters of Virginia last Tuesday voted to change this. This changes everything once again. The problem is you've got Spanberg, who has no interest in going and fixing this. The people of Virginia really got a sham deal last week. I think that this has an opportunity to save the midterms, to increase the Republican majorities in the midterms, and move it so that Donald Trump continues to get his agenda through Congress, which has stymied, unfortunately, a lot of the things this president wants to do. Don't forget, John, we're in the longest shutdown in American history as it comes to DHS funding. The men and women of Secret Service, TSA, Coast Guard, CBP, ICE, U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement, and so many other entities still aren't being paid. Now, they have used what they call extreme measures to get some of these people paid, but that money is gone now. The money is gone, and you need to fund the government so that we can have safety and security in the homeland, because this is exactly the reason 9/11 happened, was that people weren't on their mission, on their job, and they weren't talking to each other.
Well, now that's all changed. I mean, we did pass the bill in the House yesterday. I think Victoria Sparks, as always, comes through at the end. That's kind of what she does. But Johnson got that passed. So now what happens? Because if you look at that bill, they fully funded everything with no guardrails, ICE, CPP, the whole thing. What happens now?
Well, what happens now is the Senate has to agree to it. I mean, the problem is, it's very hard, and John Thune continues to refuse to use the measures that are at his disposal to get the big bills passed, including the DHS funding bill, including the Save America Act, right? I mean, I know these guys get to the U.S. Senate and they want to die there. They leave in pine boxes because no one ever wants to leave the U.S. Senate because it's the only good job they've ever had in their life. But it's time to do what the American people want. We voted to put people in there who want to get DHS funded, get the Save America bill passed, okay, put election integrity back on the ballot. And this notion of the filibuster was never designed to prevent legislation from coming forward. And this notion that we've got to have 61 votes to get any piece of legislation passed is just completely nonsense. And let me tell you something, John, and I don't advocate this, but if the Democrats were to take back the U.S. Senate, you think for 1 second they would abide by the same rules that the Republicans have? The answer is absolutely not. Chuck Schumer will crush us like the little gnats that he thinks that we are, and they will say, hey, we're getting rid of the filibuster rule. It's now 50 votes or 51 for us, and we don't care what you do. And if you don't like it, take us to the ballot box in 2 years. By that time, we'll have impeached Donald Trump again. We'll have stopped the president's agenda, and we'll tie up this country with nonsense. That's exactly what's going to happen should we lose the House and the Senate.
That's exactly it, and everybody knows that. It wouldn't take them 90 minutes. Look, they already tried to do that, and the only two Democrats that stopped it were Joe Manchin from West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona, and they're both gone. Fetterman voted to get rid of the filibuster, so they don't have anybody to stop them. They've already voted to get rid of it. How stupid do you have to be?
Hey, look, John, I'll take that as a rhetorical question because you know the answer. The answer is we're so friggin' weak as a Republican Party when it comes to getting our legislation done. I understand the notion that we've got a small majority, particularly in the House. And what Mike Johnson has been able to do has been yeoman's work. This guy has mastered getting things done in a very, very small majority, some of which those members are less than stellar, let's just say that, right, that aren't on his agenda and aren't on the president's agenda, some of those Republicans. I don't have to name them, but you know who they are. But then you go to the Senate. The Senate has really been our problem, and the Senate should have been the place where it has been driving the president's agenda, driving this. And what do we hear from Leader Thune? I'm going to get the Save America Act done. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done. Well, here's where we are, John. We're now bumping up against the midterm elections. We've got a headwind at us. We've got gas prices that are high. We've got an ongoing conflict in the Middle East. We've got, some of these states that are really pushing back against the president's agenda. And now all of a sudden, John Thune can't get the legislative accomplishments done that he was supposed to, that he promised the president he would do. And so where's the accountability? The only thing people understand in the U.S. Senate is pain. So we need to continue to have the American citizens contact their legislators and make sure that they know what we want to get done. Mike Lee has done an amazing job of pushing this narrative forward, but he's, unfortunately, he's one of the few in the Senate. And there are some great people in the Senate, but there's also some real problems on the Republican side who just refuse to get this done.
How do we take, we've taken the party over at the grassroots for Republicans. What's the next step?
Well, John, unfortunately, the business of being the U.S. Senator is a massive financial business, okay? You look at the money that they're spending in the state of Texas. They're over $100 million in that race. It's almost impossible to fathom the amount of financial resources it takes in some of these states to go and elect a U.S. senator. And so we've got some real battles out there. We've got some real races. Places where we might be able to be more effective is Maine. Now, listen, do I agree with Susan Collins on every vote she makes? The answer is no. Do I agree with her on the first vote she makes, which is who is the leader of the U.S. Senate? The answer is yes, because the alternative is, even if we don't like Senator Collins or Senator Murkowski, they end up with a Democrat in that seat. Now, look, I think Mike Dunleavy would be a much better senator, personally, from the state of Alaska. But as Susan Collins' case is, she's probably the only Republican that can win there. And if her first vote is for the Republican majority leader, the alternative would be that Chuck Schumer is the leader. And that's absolutely devastating to the American people. So it's very hard at the macro level. At the micro level, John, the grassroots have done an amazing job of educating their senators. But what we have is, we have sometimes not great alternatives because, look, I'm a movement conservative, have been for 25 years. I think you know that, John. I don't think anyone questions where I stand on the issues of, mass deportations or immigration or closing our borders or getting bad guys out of here, right? I have been at the forefront of that, helping to achieve those results. But some of these squishes, some of these moderates really have done us a disservice in the U.S. Senate. And listen, I want more Mike Lees in the U.S. Senate and less Susan Collins or those types.
Well, the bottom line is, look, Susan Collins, every important vote in history, she's been there for us, every single one. And the votes where she voted no, it didn't matter because we weren't going to get there anyway, or we already had enough positive votes. But when her vote mattered, she's never abandoned us, not one time. She personally saved Justice Kavanaugh with that speech she made in the well.
True.
Which I gave her a pass for that. That was one of the greatest speeches ever made. She's got the Parkinson's thing going on, but she's a tough lady, and I'm 100% behind her. Hey,
John, I love her. Let me just say this, though. You got a guy like Tom Tillis from a state. Look, Tom is leaving, and he can't get out fast enough. This guy has stymied the president's agenda. We need Mike Whatley in the U.S. Senate immediately. It's a battleground state that Donald Trump has won 3 times, but you got Tom Tillis, who has all the cover he would need to get the president's agenda done. And what does he do? He uses his position to potentially prevent good nominees from going through because he's a bad guy.
All right, couple of quick things. We got Andy Ogles coming up. Couple quick things. Give me a quick update on the Lewandowski football players. How they doing?
Oh, look, my kids are so happy, John, if you believe it. And I know we've been together a long, long time now. My daughter just finished her first year at college, which is incredible to think. So she's home. My boys play football every weekend. It's the greatest. Today happens to be my 15-year-old's birthday. So we'll have a birthday celebration for him. It's hard to believe, John. I mean, think about it, John. We've been doing this with President Trump, you and I, from the very beginning for over 11 years.
11 years.
That means, on this day 11 years ago, my son turned 4 years old. It's literally been his entire life. And I'm so proud of the fact that we were there at the very beginning. There's a lot of people who've come after us, John, a lot of people who've left the Trump movement who said they were part of it. But you and I have never wavered, and it's been a privilege to be here by your side doing this.
Well, and it's been mutual. And when I first went up there, your daughter was 6 years. She was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Your daughter, now she's or 8, I think. Now she's finished her first year in college. Time just flies. But I know your boys love football, and you never miss a game. You're always there. So that's good. I'm doing a bus tour in New Hampshire. I got to get with you on that. We're also going to go to Maine for that one district for LePage. So that's coming up. I'll get with you on that. And then I've got my big election night event in DC coming up June 16th. I want to get you as a speaker there. So I'll shoot you a text on that. So be like old times.
That'd be great, John. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all you're doing. I will join you in New Hampshire. I will join you in Maine. And don't forget, we've got America 250 coming up. We've got some great things happening this summer that everyone can enjoy the value of this great country, the greatest country the world has ever known.
Corey Lewandowski, thank you. People want to follow you on social media, Corey. Where do they go?
Oh, they can go right to X, John. That's where I get all the hate and some of the love. And so you can just see me, see Lewandowski _ a lot of hate, a little bit of love. And so I got broad shoulders, John. I love it.
Corey, we've been together doing this thing for 11 years. I mean, it's just hard to imagine all that time. And if people don't know, Corey Lewandowski, for the Trump for President campaign, before it even launched, turned the lights on. His office was in a floor that was unfinished. It was just plywood. I went to his office. It was plywood, and there was one of those construction lamps hanging down where you get the cord that has the cage on it.
It's true.
And he had this is a true story. He had a chair, a desk, and a phone plywood and the light hanging down from the ceiling. That was his office. I mean, it's just hard to imagine where we've come from.
Donald Trump has changed the world, John, for the better. We have been a very small part of it, but it's been one heck of a roller coaster ride, and I'm so glad I've been on it with you.
All right, Corey. Thanks for being with us.
Take
Quick
care.
word from our sponsors. Up next, Congressman Andy Ogles. We got a lot going on. Keep it right here.
To Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Buddy Carter, warrior, great guy.
President Trump and Buddy Carter are working to help Georgians keep more of what they earn by passing the largest tax cut in history, eliminating taxes on tips and overtime, and making the child tax credit permanent.
Buddy Carter, warrior, great guy.
From day one, Buddy Carter has stood with President Trump on his mission to make life more affordable for working families. But while President Trump and Buddy Carter were protecting our wallets, Congressman Mike Collins was abusing them. Congressman Collins is under federal investigation for misusing taxpayer funds to benefit himself and his cronies. According to the investigation report, Congressman Mike Collins, quote, may have violated federal law by shelling out government funds to one of his top aides. Georgia families have had enough of wasteful, corrupt career politicians. We just can't trust or afford Mike Collins. Paid for by Buddy Carter for Senate.
I'm Buddy Carter, and I approve this message.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
I think it's ridiculous that you're even asking me that question. That you even say the word. I mean, I'm serious. I'm sick of it. I don't even know why we even bring up the dadgum word. How about some of these other teams out there that lose to unranked opponents all the time? That's our 33rd win versus unranked opponent. We ain't lost to anybody unranked since 2011, but I have to come to a press conference in 2015 and get asked that. And that's all media bull crap. I can tell you how they feel about it. They don't like it. It's a lack of respect. It's not doing your homework and paying attention to what reality is. Should not be asked that question.
He's the voice of Virginia.
No, you can't. You have one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life.
And the commander of common sense.
Fire at will, Commander.
Now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Oh, you're back on the John Fredericks Media Network. Great to have you with us. Steve Stern, he's holding on. He's going to be coming up in a few minutes, but right now we're going to go right to Congressman Andy Ogles in Tennessee. Congressman, great to have you back, sir. What a week it's been. What a day yesterday. You finally got a big bill passed yesterday. As always, one of my favorite congresswomen ever, Victoria Sparks, always comes to the table late, but she's always there. She put it over the top, and now you guys finally got a bill. Andy.
Yeah, I mean, what a long process to do what the American people want us to do. I mean, it's frustrating that the Senate has bogged down a lot of this legislation. You know, that they've been in a partial shutdown. And look, you know, I'm to the point, you know, we've got the Save America Act out there. It's an 83% issue. Americans want it. I mean, everybody agrees you should have to have an ID to vote. And so John Thune could nuke the filibuster and they could get that passed, or I'm calling on the president to invoke the, essentially force Congress into session and make it stay there until we get it done. And so the republic's at stake. I mean, this is what we're talking about, whether it's the government spying on Americans, whether it's not funding Homeland Security, whether it's securing our elections, whether it's getting rid of terrorists in Iran. I mean, we are at war across many fronts, and we have the Senate totally asleep at the wheel.
So when you have mentioned this to the president or to his key advisors, what has been their reaction to that, Andy Ogles?
Well, I mean, I think, it hasn't been invoked. It's been a few decades. And so it's a serious thing for the president to, essentially force Congress into session and keep us there for the purposes. And it can only be done under extreme circumstances. And so, but I would argue when you have elections being stolen, when you have this war on terror that's being, we literally have had 4 terror attacks on U.S. soil. In the month of March, we've caught an Iranian sniper in Alabama here not too long ago. I mean, they're literally trying to infiltrate our country, trying to bring down the republic. And a lot of this goes underreported in the media because they're just not paying attention. They're more interested in gossip and drama. Meanwhile, our enemies are always on the move. And like I said, the American people want the Save America Act. And if the Senate can't get it done, I would argue these are extreme times, and it's time for the president to invoke that article and call us into session.
I agree with you 100%. I think we need to get the SAVE Act done. It'll never get 60 votes. You got to get rid of the filibuster. These guys are always going on vacation in the Senate. They never do anything. John Thune just sits on his hands. And it's causing a lot of frustration. Congressman Andy Ogles with us, represents District 5 in Tennessee, which is basically Williamson County in the Franklin area, and also a member of the Freedom Caucus. Andy, the FISA, I'm going to get to the redistricting here in a minute. The FISA deal that was cut yesterday, a lot of people like me unhappy with FISA, want warrants, don't want secret judges signing bogus orders, surveilling on Americans. What was your position on that? Where does it stand now?
So it did pass, and so we had put in some reform. So keep in mind, I was targeted by the Biden administration. My Fourth Amendment rights, the speech and debate clause, which is a constitutional provision that prevents the president or the executive branch from spying on Congress. They willfully violated that. I was targeted by the Biden administration, and so very sensitive to this. But one of the things we're able to force on the House version of FISA with some additional reforms to protect Americans was banning central bank digital currency. And if you don't know what that is, that's literally what it sounds like. It's, your currency, the dollar would be digital. And what we see in China is that China uses that as a spying tool and a control tool. So if you are vocal, if you're conservative like you, John, and you're in China, the government might prevent you from buying groceries this week, right? They may not let you or allow you on the subway. They have no-go zones for different people in different areas of the country because of this digital currency and ID that they have. And so we don't want to even think or possibly go down that road. So putting a ban in place protects Americans 10, 20, 50 years from now.
Did that ban, was that part of the deal that
we were successful in forcing that onto the bill? Now, if the Senate strips it out, which would be a mistake, then it will be, in my humble opinion, the House will go to war with the Senate for essentially violating the privacy of Americans. I mean, this is what's at stake. I mean, and I understand it's tough in the Senate. They have the 60-vote threshold. But again, nuke the filibuster. The Democrats have already, all but said they're going to nuke the filibuster if they get the Senate back. And so if Thune is uncomfortable doing that, again, I would call on the president to invoke Article 2, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution and force Congress into session. And look, when the Senate and the House is having to stay here on weekends and everybody's missing their little parties and their fundraisers and their codels, and we're having to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day in perpetuity, my guess is things will start getting passed. There will be no more filibustering on the Senate floor because they're going to want to go home. They're going to want to go to their vacations and their codels and their fundraisers. And if that's what it takes to save the republic, then that's what we need to do.
Absolutely, 100%. You got the whole thing nailed. Andy Ogles with us, Congressman, District 5, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, and he also member of the Freedom Caucus. Let's get to the landmark ruling yesterday by the Supreme Court, 6-3, gutting Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act, which now makes unconstitutional the drawing of minority majority districts for the color of someone's skin. That's out. But the Supreme Court didn't make this a federal mandate. They made it unconstitutional, but left it up to the states. So now the governors have a very tight window. They got to call a special session. They got to get these maps changed. They got to follow the Constitution. Bill Lee hasn't done anything. You're a governor, sitting around for a day, doing nothing. Marsha Blackburn running for governor, U.S. Senator, immediately, it was in 15 minutes after that thing came out, demanded he call a special session and get these maps fixed. Where do you stand on this and what will happen in Tennessee?
So I was, if Marsha called for it in 15 minutes, I was right behind her, like at minute 16, because absolutely. I mean, and this is not, this is restoring the power of the state legislatures to draw these districts representative of the people. But look, Tennessee is one of the most conservative states in America, and you can look at Memphis. So until President Trump, a Republican took control and forced the, crime enforcement, law enforcement in Memphis. It was the most violent city in America. Why? Because you've had 40 years, 50 years of Democrat control. They've run it into the ground. They used to make songs, write songs about Memphis, walking in Memphis, right? Praising the soul and the food and the music. You couldn't even go to Memphis anymore. A Republican takes control and forces law and order into a city, and now people are coming back. And so this is an opportunity to make Memphis great again by giving them proper representation, people who will fight for their city, who will fight for law and order, and help rebuild that infrastructure because it's a jewel of our country. And so this is, again, restoring the right of the General Assembly. I can tell you that there were conversations being had last night amongst leadership across Tennessee. I was involved in those conversations, reaching out to members of the state Senate, and then my fellow colleagues in the federal delegation say, I support this. The Republic is at stake. And quite frankly, I have a fantastic district. I love my district. Not only are they counties that I know well, my wife has family in Wilson County. We both grew up in Williamson County. My family goes back to the early 1900s in Murray County. I mean, like, this is our home. I'd likely get screwed in the new maps. Like, my district's going to go likely west all the way to Memphis. But if that's what it takes to save our country, then I'm willing to give up literally my front and backyard, the places that I grew up in, that I am blessed to represent in order to save this country. And that's what's at stake. And so I think we have a very small window. They would have to get this done in about a week because the ballots have to be printed and certified mid-month. So there is not much time to waste here in Tennessee to effectively draw a 9-0 map.
Billy hasn't acted on it, Governor Lee, and some of the feedback I got last night was he was whining. This is my words, and some others, whining about the fact that, they just cut out a session. They have a citizen legislature. They got to get back to work. He doesn't want to call him back. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? The whole country is hanging by a thread, and you're worrying about somebody coming in for 3 days? Well, if you don't want to come in for 3 days to Nashville, then why don't you just retire or go away? I mean, I just, my head exploded with that. Like, you don't want to come in for 3 days when your whole country is at stake? Why are you there?
Yeah, I mean, some of the feedback that I got last night wasn't pushback. It was more of, hey, this could be face a legal challenge, or getting it done in time might be a challenge. And my simple response is we don't have a choice. The Republic is at stake, and it's certainly worth trying. I mean, that's a simple message, right? Like, it's the last few moments of the game. You're down. You've got one shot at this. You throw the Hail Mary. You run a play. You just don't spike the ball, right? You run the play. Even if you think it might fail, you go for it. And that's the position Tennessee is in. It's time for them to run a play. It's time for them to go for it. And let's see if we can make that map 9-0 and truly save the Republic, codify President Trump's agenda, and set up a scenario where we can look. And if we pick up 8, 10, 12, seats in the South because of redistricting, and on the heels of that, we'll pick up seats because of the new census. The House of Representatives is Republican for the next 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. It's a generation. They'll never win it back. And
generational.
You look at the census, we're going to pick another 10 seats up. That is coming down the pike in 2030 because everybody's moving to Tennessee and they're moving to the South, and we're investing in properties in Tennessee. Everybody wants to go to these red states. So you're going to get that. How many seats could you pick up in Tennessee if Governor Lee actually got off his butt today and got everybody in there?
Only one. So we have an 8-1 map. So it would be 9-0. So that's one seat. In the new census, Tennessee would get an additional seat that would also be Republican. So in the near future, you could have a 10-0 map out of Tennessee. Other states, like the Carolinas, Florida could pick up a couple. I mean, as you said, we'll pick up almost a dozen seats by way of redistricting, but we could go ahead and pick up additional seats if we're proactive, if we put in the work. I mean, at the end of the day, John, this is about rolling up your sleeves, coming into work on the weekends and getting it done. That's what I've been saying about Save America. The Senate, the House, we shouldn't be going home this weekend. There should be no recess next week because we have the people's business, people's work to get done. And I'm willing to stay. I'd rather be home with my family. I've got farm chores to do when I get home. We have lambs that are about to start lambing, and we'll have baby lambs all over the place. But you know what? I signed up for this gig, and I'm here to work for the American people, and the Senate needs to stay here and do their damn job.
Right. Well, you're a fighter. Give us your analysis of Governor Lee. Is he going to call this special session or whine?
I have no idea. I mean, my hope will be that he does it. I will, using different channels, continue to express my support. And if we can build that momentum, and part of that is, building that grassroots support for this effort, maybe we can get it done. The Senate, quite frankly, if the votes are there, that is probably the thing that would most likely compel this to take place, would be that overwhelming support in the state Senate, which is something that I was working on last night.
All right, Andy Ogles, you're doing all the right things. We want to thank you. Thank you for your time, and thanks for coming on. It's good to have you back as we expand our operation in Tennessee. Just signed a deal for a new station there that we got to get through the paperwork and the FCC and all that, the financing, but that'll be coming online very, very soon. And couldn't go to a better place right outside of Nashville, just in time for me to see the Titans lose another 10 games. It's all good.
Well, congratulations on that. But, I appreciate you being a voice of reason and conservatism. You've been a movement conservative from the beginning, like Corey Lewandowski said. You were there at the beginning. You've been there through the middle, through the hard times, and now you're here as we face the golden era or construct the golden age era of America. So thank you for all that you do. I'm happy to be on, and hopefully we talk next week.
And don't forget, I've been an Ogles fan from day one, so don't forget that.
Thank you.
Big Ogles fan, and you got a lot of criticism in that primary there. And I know I said this guy, if you look at his record, what he's done at the local level. I mean, he's a fighter. He stood up to all these people, and that's the kind of fighter in Congress we need. And you've not let anybody down. Certainly me. You've been absolutely fabulous and a breath of fresh air. So thank you, Andy. People want to follow you on social media.
That.
You've got a great social media platform. You're funny. People want to follow you on social media, follow you on your little videos. Where do they go? I love your vignette.
Yeah, you can go to Rep Ogles. That's the official side, or Andy Ogles. We probably do more on the official side, but look, I'm blessed. I simply doing the things I promised my constituents I would do. I'm ranked one of the most conservative members of Congress. I'm on the board of the House Freedom Caucus, but I'm also a hard worker, which is why when the cyber subcommittee came available, so I'm the chairman of Cyber and AI. That's a coveted committee, and I got it. I earned it because I'm known as a hard worker, and it's such a critical topic at a critical time when it comes to Homeland Security and foreign policy, and I happen to be the chairman of it. So it's like, I came here to work and get her done, which is why I'm willing to stay this weekend and fight for America. But that being said, God bless you, and thank you for having me on.
Can I give a shout out to your new comms director, John Carlo Mendato? Did I say his name
awesome.
right? Yeah, Mendato.
Yeah.
The Italian.
You need to stop saying his name because they're going to steal him from me.
I know he's good. He's good. He gets back to me within like 20 seconds, gets everything set up. And yeah, he's got, they're probably trying to steal him from you. So you got to take good care of him. I love working with him. Your comms director, new comms director, John Carlo Mendato, the Italian stallion in the House
That's right.
of Representatives. All right, Andy, thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
for
man.
being
Thank you so much.
All right, bud. All right. We got a couple minutes. We're going to have to get Steve Stern here in 2 segments. So, Steve, you got about 6 minutes, and then we'll go to top of the hour and then get you back in. I've been behind Steve Stern, the indelible Steve Stern. Thank you for your patience. You've been on hold about an hour and a half. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. But the good news is you get to hear my show. So that's the good news, Steve.
Well, we hear your show every day. So it's really good. So we're going to be doing a huge thing today. We're going to have our Precinct Project Zoom at 2:00. And I want to explain that to everybody because it's very important with the redistricting. This is an extension of precinct strategy. So what we did, I work with you and many, many people on precinct strategy with Dan Schultz, Liz Harrington. President Trump endorsed it. What we did, we're doing an extension of precinct strategy called precinctprojectusa.org. We want everybody to go there, sign up today at 2:00. If you go to Stern American Rumble, we will be live and we'll tell you who's going to be speaking and what this all means. You can redistrict everywhere, but if the Republicans don't come out to vote, we're still going to lose. So that's very important. So what is precinct strategy? Precinct strategy is the Republican Party. There's 400,000 slots. There's 200,000 people that are working. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I started with you and many, many other people, there was 400,000 slots and 200,000 people involved. Now, the good news is we started this precinct project 3 months ago. We've already picked up about 10,000 new committee men and committee women. What is a committee man and committee woman? They attend meetings. They get candidates elected. They sign up voters. They canvass neighborhoods. They poll watch and poll work. They make phone calls. But the most important thing is getting candidates elected. So if we have 200,000 people, and our goal on precinct projects is to get another 200,000 people, you know that in a city or a county, if you have 20 people working, you're going to get the job may be done. But if you have 100 people working, you got a better chance. So every candidate that's running should have 100 volunteers. I've interviewed many candidates all over the country, and many of them don't have enough volunteers. You've got to go door knocking today. So let's talk a little bit while we got a few more minutes about what we're going to do today. Precinct Project USA started 3 months ago. We have monthly newsletters going out. We have staff round the clock to answer your questions. You learn how to recruit new members. We show you precinct victory manuals. So when somebody comes in, they can get educated. So today we're going to have Jeff Davis on from South Carolina, and he is a superstar. He does myscgop.com. Every day he sends out a newsletter to everybody in South Carolina, plus whoever is on his site. Andy Mahan in Pennsylvania. He's one of our leading guys in Butler, Pennsylvania. He came to me about 4 months ago and asked me to get this together, which we did. We're going to have Dale Livingston on in Maryland, tell you how Maryland is increasing Republicans there. Carlos Santos, a real superstar in New Jersey. He's a chairman. He got 700 people in his county to become Republicans, and he's going to tell you how he did that. We're going to have Nancy Pelosi on. She's in Colorado. She's going to be talking about Tina Peters. So let's not forget Tina Peters. Everybody is forgetting about her. I want you to call the governor. He's promised pretty much to give her a pardon, but he hasn't done it yet. 303-866-2471. We're going to have Ann Parchett on. Here's a fighter in Illinois. Freedom Alliance. People were trying to knock her out. She fought. She went to court. She's back in as the chairman. Cynthia Haggett in Missouri is going to talk to you all about what's happening in Missouri and numerous other people. So we got about another minute left. Let me give you a chance to ask a question while we do that, because, I never answer questions.
Well, listen, I'm so glad that we're back to your precinct project, because this is really one of the things that turned the corner for us in 24 is we started taking the party over piece by piece in order to get the right people in, the right local candidates in. It's made a huge difference. And anybody out there right now, if you want to get involved, you've got to get involved at the precinct level. All these things are open within the party. This is how you take the party over. I mean, I'm in DC running my race here for Ward 2 chairman. What happens? I ask a few questions. I try to get some things done. I have events. I have town halls. They throw me, the chairman throws me out of the party, throws me off the thing, throws me off the executive committee because they don't want to do anything. They want to lose and control their little cabal. You can't do that if the committee chairman come in. If they want to get involved, Steve, where do they go?
So the first thing is go to joinprecinctprojectusa.org. That's the first thing. We have one person in every state that will contact you and tell you how to get involved. I was on a program yesterday, got 20 new people asking how to get involved. Now, why do you want to get involved? Well, if you sit back and complain and get on the radio, I hear a lot of people on your show, they call in and they complain. I see the chat, they're complaining, but they don't get involved. So it's up to us to ask the people to get involved. And I'm going to tell you a story. You can have
Steve, hold that thought. Hold your story. Hold your story. I got to get the top of the hour break. I don't want to cut your story off in the middle. We might have Governor Braun from Indiana coming up, depending on when he gets out of his meeting. We'll get right back to Steve Stern. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, trucking the truth across America. Every day now is Christmas. Let's get this redistricting done. Let's get it done today. Put pressure on your governors. Get the special session called. I'll be right back.
W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB Port.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. As oil prices climb, so do prices at the gas pump. The price of Brent crude briefly topped $126 a barrel today, far above its pre-war price, before falling back.
The jump in price comes as stalled U.S.-Iran talks raised doubts over the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and a permanent end to the war between the U.S., Israel and Iran. Before the war began in late February, Brent crude was trading at around $70 per barrel. There's no clear path to ending the war, which is in its 9th week. Reports Thursday suggesting a possible escalation by President Trump extinguished hopes for a quick end to the conflict. The U.S. has continued its blockade of Iranian ports, while the Strait of Hormuz is closed, pushing oil prices higher. I'm Karen Shamas.
And a key inflation measure jumped in March. Commerce Department says an inflation gauge, it's closely watched by the Fed, rose 0.7% in March from the month before. Iran's supreme leader says the Islamic Republic will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities. President Trump is insisting Iran give up its quest for nuclear weapons. House lawmakers approve a 3-year extension of a U.S. surveillance program, but that's not the final word on the program's fate.
After weeks of infighting in Congress, a large group of Democrats joined most Republicans to pass the bill. The measure adds new oversight, but stops short of requiring a warrant to access Americans' communications. Leaders argue the program is vital to national security, while opponents say it still allows warrantless surveillance. Even with the bill's passage, next steps in the Senate remain uncertain. Greg Clugston, Capitol Hill.
Watching Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell, the Dow futures are up 312 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 189, and the S&P futures better by 34 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
There's more talk of a ceasefire of some sort in the Russia-Ukraine war. Details are murky, though, and Ukraine's leader is anxious to learn more.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he wants more details about the May 9th ceasefire. Russian President Vladimir Putin proposed to President Donald Trump over the phone on Wednesday. The break in attacks would coincide with Russia's Victory Day. Zelensky says he wants to know whether the short-term ceasefire would be a few hours of security for a parade in Moscow or something more. And Ukraine is proposing a longer-term ceasefire. Meanwhile, Russia launched overnight attacks in a central Ukrainian city as well as in the southern port city of Odessa. And Ukraine continued striking industrial facilities inside Russia for a second day in a row. I'm Donna Warder.
The Israeli military dealing with a new threat from Hezbollah. It's facing small drones that easily avoid electronic detection. Townhall.com. A key figure is leaving the board of Live Golf as Saudi funding of the hard-charging league dries up.
Sports Business Journal has reported that Yasser Al-Rumayyan is resigning as chairman of Live Golf. Al-Rumayyan is the governor of the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia and the man behind the creation of Live Golf. Even with Greg Norman as the first CEO, it was Al-Rumayyan who was the face of the league. He was also the one who signed a framework agreement with the PGA Tour that ultimately only ended lawsuits. His resignation comes at a time when Live Golf plans to announce its strategy going forward without Saudi funding. I'm Gethin Coolball.
One of the worst hailstorms to hit Missouri killed an emu at the Springfield Zoo this week. It also injured drivers, knocked out power to thousands, and damaged hundreds of vehicles, even some aircraft. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Folks, this is Crime Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Soul Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Soul Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Soul Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday, and you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're back on the John Fredericks Media Network. Great to have you with us, as always. And I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables. Thanks for being with us. As always, got Steve Stern, got Joel Rubin, got gerrymandering gone. We got the Supreme Court ruling. All the governors have to do in the red states, all they got to do is call a special session. Bill Lee, Governor Lee, Tennessee, got a seat there in Memphis. Get up off your ass, get a special session, get us that seat. Sarah Huckabee, I don't know what you're doing today. Call a special session. Landry, Louisiana, get it done. Alabama, what the hell are you doing? Every one of these special sessions should get called today. Carpe diem, seize the moment. Tate Reeves, now you know what? Doesn't say a lot. Governor of Mississippi. Doesn't say a lot. Quiet guy, right? Leadership sometimes is quiet. Puts out a tweet on a Friday night. Last Friday says, I never really put a statement out on a Friday night. I don't really put a lot of statements out. But he says, I'm ready to go. If the Supreme Court gets rid of these Section 2.0 of the Civil Rights Act and gets rid of these gerrymandered minority-majority districts, I'm calling a special session starting on, well, it's going to be Monday, May 4th. See, this is leadership. We got to get this done. Carpe diem, seize the moment. Don't forget my race in Washington, D.C. I know you're fired up about it, but I need your help because we're under fire, establishment trying to get me out of there. But we're going to win at the polls, but I need your help. My primary, June 16th, got a write-in candidate. They're trying to get me. They threw me off the executive committee. It's what happens in the Republican Party when you ask a question in the D.C. GOP. Oh, we get 7% of the vote. Yay. It's called a clown show, right? But we're trying to change it with your help. I can be successful. Got to start somewhere. Just go to makedcgreat.com. Makedcgreat.com. You can give me a donation there. Maximum donation, $200. Also got a big event coming up on election night, June 16th. And that'll be on our site soon. That's going to be in Georgetown. So mark that on your calendar. Put June 16th down, 7 to 10. That's our primary night victory party speakers. Corey Lewandowski, confirmed. He's in. Treasurer, United States Treasurer Brandon Beach, in. Speaker, Morgan Griffith, Congressman, likely. Still checking his schedule. So you want to mark that down, Joel, on your schedule. you can come, even though you're a Democrat. It's good. We only get 7% of the vote. It's no problem. Nobody will get mad at you. Well, they get mad at you for you coming on my show anyway. So don't worry about it. Let's just go to makedcgreat.com, makedcgreat.com, and you can give me a donation there, and I'd really appreciate it. $200 max. Speaking of donations, Steve Stern and Diane Stern gave me both maximum donations to my campaign. Thank you, Steve and Diane. You're the best. And by the way, this message has been paid for by the Fredericks for Chairman campaign. I'm John Fredericks, and I authorized this message. What do you think of that? Let's bring Steve Areno back. Steve, you and Diane donated to my campaign. Thank you.
Well, we want you to win. We need people like you in the organization. Now, you asked a question before, how can people get involved and how they can reach me? So the first thing is go to stern1054gmail.com. I will answer all your questions or send you to somebody who can do that. It's also important, as you see, I'm wearing our new 250 shirts. The flagshirt.com, very important, www.theflagshirt.com. We've got all these new 250 items. And today, we're going to have about 6 million people on precinctprojectusa.org. Now, how do we get all these people on? Well, about 3 years ago, we had somebody put us live on the War Room, and they were able to get us 60,000 people. We are now in many, many different areas. We have OBBM Network doing this. We have Lindell TV. We got Facebook, Cloud Hub, 100 podcasters. If you're listening and you're a podcaster and you want to get one of our guys on, we'll be glad to do this. So not only are we having our Precinct Project USA.org today, but next Wednesday, we're having our election security call. Now, you put these both together because when you become a precinct committee man and a committee woman, it's important to get involved and be a poll watcher or a poll worker. Now, on the last election, Susie Wiles texted me thanking me because I put this sign up to become a poll watcher and poll worker, protectthevote.com for the Republican Party. This is very important because even though we have a lot of Republicans running and are going to win, if the ballots that come in through the mail are not legal, how are we going to win? So we're going to have a wonderful guy on our election security call next Wednesday, John Goodman. He's going to be breaking some great news. We're going to have Linda Sinkowitz on, fightvoterfraud.org. Marnie Hornick, she's going to tell you about all her new lawsuits. Lisa Bennett, Stan Woodward from Texas, Jay Kaminsky from Florida, Ed Vidal from Miami. We're going to have Peter Tickton on. He's going to be talking about Tina Peters and everything that's going on. We never want to forget her. Every program that I do, I lead off with Tina Peters. We have it all over the country, but still only 20% of the people who know who Tina Peters is. So we definitely want to do something for her, and we're going to be able to do that when we get on. So today, 2:00 Eastern Time, precinctprojectusa.org. Very important. You can join that. And when you join that, you get newsletters, you get information. You get, let's say, like you did, you went from Pennsylvania to D.C. Well, you're not going to know anybody, so you're going to call Steve Stern. Who is the person to speak to in D.C. that is a MAGA? Now, that's a big problem we have in the Republican Party. We've got MAGA, we have the rhinos, and we got the establishment people. And you're up against the establishment people of the rhinos. We have that in Pennsylvania, and that's why one of our guys is going to talk about that today. So all over the country, we're fighting, and people call me asking, well, what do you do? Well, if you get knocked out of the main Republican Party, join one of the other clubs, join one of the other organizations, and make it happen. I mean, we need people. I'm going to tell you a big story here that a lot of people don't know. In Iowa, about 3 years ago, there was a school board election. And you know, Iowa is as Republican can be. Well, guess who won all the school boards for the first time in history? The Democrats. And why did it happen? Because the Republicans said, we always win every election, so we didn't really have to come out to vote. Duh. Well, that's the big problem. We've got to get these people out to vote. You can reapportion, but there's still Democrats running. And if the Republicans don't come out and the Democrats come out in droves, we're going to lose those elections. So we've got to get people involved. We got to get, one of the big things that the executive committee does, and I'm the vice chair in Broward County, we get people out to vote. We're spending $40,000 in texting, emailing. And, I do all the fundraising, and you came to our event last year. And this year, our event is going to be Trump Day. and we're going to have 450 people. You spoke at the last one last year. Anybody who wants to come, it's going to be on September 19th. We're going to have some great speakers, so it's very important. So before I leave you, I want to again say precinctprojectusa.org. If everybody listening joins that, it's very simple. Just go there, sign up, come on our show at 2 o'clock, Stern American Rumble, buy a flag shirt so that we can get Brett going on, www.theflagshirt.com. Email me for information. Go to precinctstrategy.com, www.precinctstrategy.com. That tells you how to get involved. Come on our election security call next week. We expect anywhere from 6 to 8 million people today. And that's amazing. We go through 58 countries. Now, I don't give you a chance to ask questions, and I know you got some in the back of your mind. So come on, a couple of questions before I go, because I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
Well, I got one question, then I'm going to let you go. Are you going to invite me and Ann to your September 19th gala again?
Any event that we have, you're always invited. You know that. And good luck on your win in D.C. And I want everybody to support John and send in a donation. It's only $200. We do this all over the country. We got to take over DC. DC, I know you're there. I know you're up in the White House. Tell President Trump to get a couple of our grassroots people on speaking to people in the administration so we can tell them what's going on in the ground. And as you know, I'm going to be 85 next month. We need younger people to go on. So we're going to do a Zoom sometime in May with YRs, young Republicans, to find out why they're not getting involved. So we're everywhere. We're precinct strategy. We're election.
You're omnipotent, Steve Stern. You're omnipotent. I got to go. But thanks for the plug in the donation. Go to makedcgreat.com. You can give me a donation there, makedcgreat.com. Steve, my love to your lovely bride, Diane. And we'll talk soon. Thank you for all you do.
You got it.
All right. Steve Areno. Can't believe he's 85. He's like the Energizer Bunny of all time. And so is his wife, Diane. But Steve is he's a great guy. Thank you for the donation, Steve. Thank you to my campaign. Join me now, our resident Democrat, so I can make Brendan Carr so happy that I have a Democrat on my show. I meet the new I meet the new FCC rules, which they want equal time. So I bring, let's see what Democrat actually has the balls to come on my show every week. Oh, Joe Rubin. That's about it. Everybody else is scared to death to come on, but Joe's a good guy, and he ran for Congress. We'd be better off if he was in Congress. I backed him in that race. I couldn't say anything because if they say the MAGA guy's backing him in the Democratic primary, you lose votes.
Not exactly where the base wants me to be, right?
You were the best looking candidate in that race. That's the other thing. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's all smoke and mirrors, man. I'm feeling the aches and pains, snap, crackle, pop every morning.
It's no wonder what that green room makeup does, right? So, Joe, anyway, a lot to talk about today. I'm not going to drag you into the redistricting wars. We've been talking about that all day. So to me, it's like Christmas maggots come early. It's every day is candy and nuts and all that good stuff. Now, Iran says your Democrats are saying this is a war of choice. I just want you to answer me.
Right.
War of choice. Okay. And they're saying there was no imminent threat, which means they were not close to a nuclear warhead or a bomb. But then President Trump says, we'll make peace if you just give up your enriched uranium to make a nuclear bomb. And Iran says, no, we're not going to do that. So no peace. So let me get this straight. The Democrats are saying they don't have the material to make a bomb. And President Trump is asking them to give up the material they ostensibly don't have to make a bomb, but they're not going to give up what they don't have. So can you help me understand this logic?
The answer is yes. John, always fun to be with you. Hello to your listeners and your audience.
My audience likes you. They like you. Yeah.
That's nice. I appreciate that. Right. It means a lot. It means a lot. Look, these are the conversations we need to be having. And so I appreciate you giving me the chance to speak with your audience, quite frankly, about this stuff. Look, it affects us all. Gas prices are obviously higher. American service members are in a war zone. We are, facing a lot of different international alliance challenges, to say the least. So this is a hard period, and it affects us all. Yesterday, Secretary Hegseth said that we've spent $25 billion, which I think probably sounds about right so far. I'll dig out in my muscle memory of when I worked on Capitol Hill in the Senate, and we were spending about 10 to 12 billion a month on the Iraq War, and that was 15 years ago. So if you look at that, it's sort of based upon the time value of money. It's less expensive now, but it's still, it's real money. It's real stuff, but it's not the doomsday scenario that was also stated. But to your question, by a lot of folks, to your question, look, the nuclear issue is the one that's bedeviled so many presidents and so many diplomats and so many military strategists for a number of years. And my view of it is that after the bombing last June by President Trump, the 12-day war, we essentially bombed into the ground, deep underground, enriched uranium that was enriched to 60%, that was basically highly enriched, that was capable of, if weaponized, to build 11 or 12 nuclear bombs. It was an imminent threat. I don't care what people say. It wasn't imminent. Like, here, so there's this debate. I'm sorry, I'll get wonky. But when people say not an imminent threat, does that mean like the guy's got the gun to your head and pulled the trigger and it's like pulling the trigger? Now it's imminent. Now I'm going to respond. Too late, right? It was a real serious major threat. It was an imminent threat. It was less than 2 weeks to weaponize. The international community, through the International Atomic Energy Agency, the nuclear experts, said as much, and actually castigated and criticized at a board meeting Iran's behavior, so in an unprecedented manner. So after that, though, all that material is buried underground, and it's sitting there. And President Trump said, look, I know basically you can't make the weapon today because it's underground, but it's still there. And you have nuclear infrastructure that you are trying to rebuild, to build centrifuges. And we believe you're going to probably use that again to try to accelerate the nuclear program. So that's one part. Other parts related to Iran's behavior in the region, backing terrorist groups that have been frankly attacking Israel and attacking populations inside of Lebanon, inside of Yemen, massacring thousands of their own people inside of Tehran in January. People were peacefully protesting. All of that came together, and that's why we're in the war that we're in right now. And now we could talk Hormuz and talk all that stuff. But yesterday's hearings, the thing that's really difficult for me as a Democrat who's worked in foreign policy for a number of years to watch is the argument as if Iran is not and has not and does not pose any threat. And that's sort of the way Dems are now arguing. And I just find that to be disconnected from reality. The nuclear program has been a bipartisan obsession for years. The Obama team negotiated a nuclear deal to try to hem it in, which I thought was a good deal, and I supported it. And so now all of a sudden, there's nothing we can do and there's no need to take action. We just need to get back to the table and negotiate with them. And I'll close with this, when Trump was negotiating with them and they didn't want to give any of this up. And that's the point. And then Biden for 4 years was in the White House, and we were trying, as a Democrat, I was advocating for it, to get them to actually come to the table with a legitimate offer, and they didn't want to do that either. In fact, they didn't even want to speak directly. Vance has spoken directly with the Iranian leadership, the highest level diplomacy between the U.S. and Iran since the 79 revolution. We didn't even get directly in the room with them. We had to go through, they call it proximity talks, basically on different floors of the same hotel in Vienna, and they would go through and talk to a third party who would then communicate, like telephone. So here we are. And so you can disagree with the approach, and you can say, I wish we didn't do a war, but you can't say it was not an imminent threat, and you can't say that Iran does not pose a severe danger to international security. There. That was long-winded.
Great analysis, Joe. Thank you, Joe. And you can follow Joe. He has a Substack page, former worked in the State Department, Deputy Secretary of State under 2 presidents, ran for Congress in Maryland. And you can follow him on Substack, Joel Rubin, Rubin. Joel, so if you were advising President Trump right now, or Pete Hegseth, what would your advice be right now, today?
I'd say they need to take this window. Now, first of all, okay, I'm going to reverse engineer myself. Strategic patience is crucial right now. Right now, we're in a moment of a test of wills. Both sides in this conflict have decided to pause hard military action and to sort of maneuver around the question of the Strait of Hormuz and the discussion on the nuclear issue. So stay the course. It's painful. It's hard. People are unhappy. There's a lot of impact, as we described it at the beginning. But the strategic patience moment that we're in right now, it's crucial to not get a little too happy, a little too trigger happy, or a little ADD and be like, well, it didn't work in 2 days. The Iranians are a long game kind of negotiating culture. They stretch out negotiations for years. They did it to Bush and Condi Rice. They did it to Hillary and then Kerry and Obama. They blew off Trump. They did it. They didn't do it. Then Biden. Like, they are the long game. But they have been banged hard in the last several weeks, in the last 2 months, in a way they have not been hit before with the strikes by Israel and the United States. And now the lockdown on the Strait of Hormuz, which is going in all directions, is, while painful for us, is deeply damaging to their economy. So while that is happening, I would argue there are 2 things that need to happen. A, demonstrate that they don't control the strait in a manner that is with impunity. We go in, we clear mines, we escort craft when needed, we shut down their tankers, as we've done, but be patient. And number 2, really re-energize the diplomacy to get our allies and others on board with what we're doing. This is a pause moment. And in these pause moments, when it's not a hot war, this is when you can turn on others who may feel like they don't want to get involved, but now maybe they do. So, of course, our Gulf allies are primary. Then we look at the Indians, we look at the Pakistanis, we look at even in Europe, countries, even Germany, annoying as Maris's comments were, who's complaining we don't have diplomatic strategy. Well, okay, buddy, here's your chance. We're going to talk to you. What are you going to do for us? We've been providing security to you for a number of years. This is important. But I'd say expand out the diplomacy and try to build a cocoon, a nest of support for this struggle, because this takes time and patience. And we need to rebuild that trust with our allies and others. Number 3, I will say, and maybe, I know I'm adding one ad hoc here, but, if the hearing showed us anything yesterday, it's that engaging the American people makes a difference, right? And there are arguments to be made, as we're doing it right here, right now. Do that. Send your people out a little more. Send your surrogates. Get on TV, of course, but try to do what is necessary. Go into Democratic districts, cultivate Democratic members, bring them to the White House. I know I'm talking out of school here for maybe some of the mindset right now, because it's hard, but engage the American people during this relative period of calm.
Joe Rubin, strategic patience. I said that to one of the commentators on Al Jazeera that I was on the other day, and they're like, "What's that mean?" And I'm like, "What did Joel say it means?" So, but I get it. Strategic patience. Everybody wants to solve it in 2 days. It's not going to happen. Joel, thanks for being with us.
Right.
You can follow Joe Rubin on Substack all over the place. Just go Substack, Joe Rubin. He's there. He's got a live show that is very, very good. I was on it one time. But I don't think his audience likes me as much as my audience likes him. Kelly Loeffler.
Oh, man.
Kelly Loeffler.
And by the way, the last thing I'll say is the Steelers had a great draft, no matter what people say.
I put that in my column, didn't I? I said they had one of the best drafts. I said they do what Steelers do. They had a great draft. And I had them as
you got to have tackles if you want to win.
I had one of the top 5 winners. I thought it was a classic McCarthy draft. Like, get me big guys in the middle. I'll go from there. It's
That's
classic McCarthy. So look, I had him in one of the top 5 winners of the draft. Joe, thanks for being with us. Too bad about the Penguins.
Brilliant.
Flyers are going to win the whole thing.
All right, I think I got to go now.
Kelly Loeffler loves my hockey picks. She can't wait till my hockey picks comes on and Godzilla wins. She lives for that. She's next.
Was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds. 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. What if those who were once called conspiracy theorists turn out to be right again? A new study by Korean doctors claimed that COVID vaccines raise the risk of 6 cancers, including lung, breast, and prostate. Researchers analyzed health records from more than 8.4 million adults between 2021 and 2023, and their findings were published in Biomarker Research, a respected scientific journal. Critics dismiss it, but the data raises concern that spike protein exposure may be tied to long-term health risks. And Dr. Peter McCullough has been aware of this since 2020, which is why he collaborated with the wellness company to create Ultimate Spike Detox, designed to help your body clear spike proteins, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. With natural ingredients like nattokinase, dandelion root, and bromelain, it is your daily proactive defense from a man-made virus. Don't wait until symptoms strike or something unexpected happens. Experience the only formula approved and used by Dr. McCullough, one of the top doctors who risked it all. Go to twc.health/Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla to get 10% off plus free shipping.
Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Great to have you back on the John Fredericks Media Network. And we saved the best for last. Joining us now, the head of the Small Business Administration, which is a cabinet level position, although it's not officially that. That's what it is, a cabinet level position. Former U.S. Senator, Georgia, and one of the leaders in our movement, and one of the most brilliant and tireless advocates for small business and the small business growth in this country. Small Business Administration, SBA Director, SBA Administrator, Kelly Loeffler. Senator, great to have you with us.
To be with you this morning. It was great to see you last night too, out at Susan B. Anthony. That was fantastic.
I know you look fabulous. We got a picture, Dan. I sent you that. You can put that up when you get that. I sent that to you via text. So that was fun. I thought it was a great event last night. And before we get into SBA stuff, the story of the young lady that won the award that was pregnant as a teenager and went to the Planned Parenthood and got talked into taking that contraceptive, the pill, whatever it is, and the story she told. I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that room. I thought that was, it was just, it wanted to make you cry. I mean, it was very compelling. And the other thing that I was shocked, I didn't know this. You know, they said several times last night, Kelly, that abortions in the country have been up dramatically since the Supreme Court knocked down Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, the statistics are absolutely shocking. I think upwards of 500,000 in a single year. And obviously I was there in my own capacity, but it's something I've been just passionate about and really led on when I was in the Senate in 2020. So there is so much more work to do. And that's why I've continued to support Susan B. Anthony, pro-life, since then. And so just wonderful to see you, and especially Anne. I mean, how fabulous is she?
I know. We got a picture there that Dan's going to put up in a minute. And we also got to talk to Governor Youngkin last night for about 10 minutes. So that was fun. And, he's convinced like me that the Virginia redistricting is going to go up in flames. He doesn't think that the Supreme Court will let that stand. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Let's talk SBA. Right now, Small Business Administration. As you know, I'm a big believer in it. We started our company by getting a couple of SBA loans, and the way that works, folks, if you have a business or you're starting a business, the SBA will, if you meet their criteria, will basically underwrite the loan through a bank, and they give the bank the security of taking the risk with a new startup company, which is kind of the basis of what the SBA does. So they've been very, very critical in the growth of Ann and I's company. And as you know, the CEO built the company from scratch. Kind of amazing story. You referred $22 billion in suspected fraudulent and delinquent PPP loans to Treasury for collections into the Department of Justice. This has gone unreported. That's a huge number. Tell us about that, Administrator Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah, John. Well, first of all, look, your story, let me just start there real quick. Your story of starting your business with an SBA loan is, that's the American dream. I hear that across the country. Now, these are private sector loans that we provide a government guarantee, and that bank pays a guarantee fee on that to support the cost of the loan, so that it's zero subsidy to taxpayer, which is why I love running this agency, because it is the most free enterprise agency that we have. And then it creates jobs, it promotes innovation, and it grows the tax base. It creates opportunity for so many people. So I love that. And I get really mad when we find out about fraud, like you've talked about just now. $22 billion we've referred to Treasury, sending those files over to the DOJ. Do you know that covers over 560,000 borrowers who defrauded the federal government during the pandemic? Now, obviously, 1.2 trillion went out under the PPP and COVID EIDL programs. So that was a massive amount of money. Our own Inspector General estimated that 200 billion was fraudulent. So obviously we have more work to do. But from day one, since I came into this agency, I said zero tolerance policy on fraud. And we have gone after every single program, but nothing like we've gone after COVID EIDL, because the scale and scope of it. And let me just finish with this. The Biden administration tried to sweep it under the rug, to forgive fraudsters, to not collect the money that is due to hardworking taxpayers. You think about how hard you work, and then you send your money to the federal government, and they're just knowingly wasting it. That's what the Biden administration did. That's wrong. We're holding these fraudsters accountable.
So, Kelly, the Biden administration knew there are about 550,000 fraudsters out there. So they knew that. It went to their attention because this was obviously administered, the majority of it, under Trump 1.0. So they knew the fraud was there, but they did nothing. They looked the other way. Why?
Well, first of all, there were 3 tranches of PPP and COVID EIDL that went out. One in 2020, and then the other 2 under the Biden administration. And they relaxed the rules over and over when the Biden administration just kept putting out bigger $1 trillion bills. Now, look what happened. It turns out a lot of that was fraudulent. They had no intention on collecting it. They only investigated about 1,000 of those. And there's many more than 500,000 fraudsters, but that's what we know about right now. And so now we have a chance to ensure that Treasury is going to start collecting on those immediately, and that the DOJ is going to start investigating, because as part of the Vice President's fraud task force, they've been very clear, no fraud is too small, and that we will come after you and get the money back and hold you accountable.
Why did the Biden administration look the other way? Why did they let it go? What was the incentive for them? I mean, fraud is fraud.
Well, that's right. And we see it across every program. I think they want the fraud to happen. I think they view it as a kickback to their people and saying, we're going to look the other way. And you see it across every agency, HHS, U.S. Department of Agriculture. Secretary Rollins this week announced that in one single red state that she got the data on, over 2,000 Tesla owners were collecting SNAP benefits. 3 of them drove Bentleys, 300 drove Porsches. They want to look the other way and put hardworking taxpayers out of their hard-earned dollars and send it to their friends. And we're saying, without fear or favor, we are going to hold fraudsters accountable. That is not a way to make a living, and it's actually a good way to get arrested and go to jail.
So what are you going to do with these people getting snapped that are driving around in Teslas and Bentleys?
Well, I'm grateful to my good friend Brooke Rollins over at USDA that she's taking a hard look at this, working with the fraud task force. And that's what the great thing about Vice President Vance's leadership has been, is to move so quickly. In the month of April alone, there's been no less than 9 announcements of massive fraud: Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, Small Business Administration, Department of Education. So we're moving quickly because it's been years and years, probably decades, this is going on. And this could dramatically transform the government. And we need to make these changes so that they stick and that they outlive all of our tenure, and so that you can never again defraud the government, which is why I brought in Palantir, an AI-driven ability to detect and stop fraud and to root it out quickly, so that there's also a deterrence. And as soon as you commit fraud, you're getting a phone call. So we need to really change the process and the incentive system, and frankly, the prosecution.
Kelly, how does your AI process detect potential fraud? Is that after the fact, before the fact, during it? Like, how does that explain to our audience?
Great question. Ultimately, we want to get to the point where it's before, where it informs our processes. So when you think about applying for a loan, well, we also had to just do some basic common sense things that don't require AI. Never before in the history had SBA required a citizenship check or date of birth on an SBA loan. So we're doing that across everything. Disaster loans, we're the largest government lender in a disaster, commercial loans, all that stuff. So, but now AI is going to help us detect patterns. That's what AI does, pattern recognition. They're able to amass large amounts of data almost instantaneously and say, oh, there's connections here. So we're deploying that capability, and then able to build our systems in a much more responsive fashion so that we catch the stuff, deter it on the front end. But then after, if some of our programs create systemic opportunity for defrauding, we'll have some more of those announcements in the future. But we're looking at all the connections for entities and stitching together various data to serve that up.
I mean, these programs are there for a reason or for need, right? I mean, the SNAP program is real. There's people that really need that on the lower income scale in order to feed their families. And yet we have this massive defraud. We have this hospice thing going on with hospices. Somebody had a hospice in a taco stand. I mean, and they just given them money. But what you said earlier was interesting when I asked you, like, what was the incentive of the Biden administration to look the other way? And you basically said, the elephant in the room, kickbacks. I mean, they're like giving the money to the people that they know are going to vote for them, donate to their campaigns, take the government money, steal some of it, give some of it back, because there's no other reason why a Democrat administration would look the other way on this level of fraud, which is now running in the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
That's right. I mean, Minnesota, case in point, Exhibit A. That's kind of where we were able to start peeling back state by state. We found 7,000 fraudsters in Minnesota alone. We then used that methodology to look at California, 111,000 fraudsters. So those folks have been banned from ever accessing SBA products again while we do our investigation and collections. But just go back to Minnesota. I mean, obviously, looking the other way, knowing and actually penalizing the whistleblowers in Minnesota that said, Governor Walz, we have a real problem here. And then he put them in a box. He said, we're not going to look at that. And so what's happening now is investigations, transparency, cooperation between state and federal government. This is all coming to bear. And we had raids last week in Minneapolis, finally, of the Leering Center. And there's going to be many, 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 many more of those.
The Leering Center. People that don't know what that is, it was the Learning Center. And when they put it up, was a total fraud. They forgot to put the N on learning. So it became the Leering Center. And this was an educational facility. They couldn't even spell the word. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up.
They got millions and millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars in fraud of our money. And it's just sick, because you're basically stealing from those that need the money for legitimate programs. Kelly Loeffler with us, former U.S. Senator, Georgia, Republican. Obviously, Kelly also is the administrator of the Small Business Administration, which is a cabinet level position. And you mentioned the vice president of Vance's, he's in charge of fraud. President put him in charge of it. And so you're seeing evidence that their commission is actually getting things done.
Oh, it absolutely is. Our team is working with them multiple times a week. We have had many meetings since our inaugural meeting over a month ago. And now, about 10 large announcements have come out. But day to day, I think your viewers are going to be able to see real results coming out of this and continual headlines, because there's so much to look at. And it's really urgent that we get to this, because like I said, it's been going on for a decade. But I love the point that they made, which is no fraud is too small, because under the Biden administration, it wasn't just like, well, we're not going to look at anything. It was just like nothing could get their attention at all, no matter how egregious. And so what's happening now is, people are being put on notice. Don't commit fraud now into new programs. And frankly, if you look at the working family tax cuts, they're also cleaning up a lot of opportunity for fraud, where benefits that were owed to hardworking American families were going to criminal illegals. So we're getting that cleaned up through that piece of legislation, which is so important. We have work requirements, which is really a pathway to a better life. It's not punishment. I mean, I love work. I think giving someone the gift of exposing their talents instead of being on dependency programs is a blessing. And so I'm really excited about, being able to use the fraud task force, to use legislation, the closed border, closing the borders. All of government is involved in getting this country back on the right track and making sure that we are all accountable to hardworking taxpayers.
Well, that's kind of I think that's what's so upsetting to people is, to see all this money going on in fraud when the vast majority of Americans play by the rules, like we do, like Ann and I do. We just play by the rules. And then you see all this fraud going on, and it's like, there's just got to be some level of accountability.
Yeah. Well, also, John, we haven't even talked about waste and abuse. When I came into this agency on day one, 90% of the staff were working from home for 4 years, not even having to come into work. Look, I know every person out there who has a job is showing up every day working so hard. And I see it in every small business I walk into. And I grew up in a small business family of farming and trucking. There was never a day off. I mean, this is, and I loved it. And it was the best way to learn about life and your personal responsibility and the gift of work. So and also being prudent. Like, no small business survives with the amount of waste and abuse that we have in the federal government. Why do we tolerate it? This administration doesn't.
Well, I remember the first week you got there. I remember you did a video walking around the offices of the SBA and showing on your phone all the empty cubicles at like 10:30 in the morning. Like, nobody was there, but they're all getting paid. Now,
Well, it was shocking, John, because it was like my first, second day there. I was like, you'd think people at least come in and be like, "Who's the new lady?" But more to the point, we then have been able to reduce headcount by 53%. So we're doing our part to shrink big government, restore power back to the private sector, free enterprise, and kick central planning to the curb.
Do more with less. That's the key. When you go out, I know part of what SBA does is they have, you've got staff that goes out in regions and talks to small businesses, get a feel of what they're saying, and then those reports at the end of the month funnel back up and you get an overview. What's the overview saying for your staff that's out there talking to small businesses throughout the United States?
Well, John, I flipped the script. So the old way of running an agency was to sit in Washington. I'm on the road all the time. I've been in nearly every state across the country. I kicked off a national manufacturing tour about a year ago. So I'm out with my team in the field. I'm out with small businesses, walking factory floors, talking to welders, in in restaurants, talking to waitresses, bringing ideas back. I've been able to bring ideas back, whether it's for fair trade, taxes. Deregulation is a massive point that we've been hitting on. For the first time in 10 years, we've activated the SBA's Office of Advocacy. And what is that? It's about deregulating after Biden heaped $5 trillion of additional regulation on our smallest businesses. That means a small business has about an hour more a day of bureaucracy and red tape they have to deal with. So we're really trying to help that small business owner get out from under the thumb of the government. I wish there were more we could do in blue states where state and local laws really crowd them out and make it very hard to run a business. But, we're trying to set the model here, deregulate, lower taxes, have fair trade, energy dominance, and let the private sector run.
You also put a report out that you had a record number of small business loans go out in the last quarter. Is that, did I read that? Did I read that correctly?
Last year, so President Trump's first year, we broke an all-time agency record, 72-year-old agency, started after World War II to welcome veterans back, help them start small businesses. We crossed the $45 billion mark last year, out to 85,000 small businesses. So we were doing upwards of 2,000 small business loans a week. You think about the American dream happening on Main Street, the jobs they create, small businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in this country. We just had a great GDP report out this morning, 2% GDP growth. I mean, this administration is growing at the national level, at the corporate level, and don't be afraid of corporate earnings growth. We've had 6 quarters in a row because every big company I talk to says we can't do it without small business. You talk to a defense contractor, an automotive manufacturer, who makes all their subcomponents, all the parts that they're assembling? Small businesses. 600,000 small manufacturers across this country. So I'm so passionate about the folks that work on these factory floors that are doing advanced manufacturing, welding, pipe fitting, CNC machining. I mean, it is fascinating what's happening in this country. President Trump is rebuilding it with fair trade.
Well, and we're doing it with small business growth, which everybody knows is the key to jobs in the United States. That's the engine behind it. As a small business owner, we know that also the one big beautiful bill. Can't have a small business discussion without saying how much that has made a difference in businesses growing and investing. Certainly has in our company. It was, and now the certainty of it. Like I was saying this to Elaine Parker earlier, Ann is now looking at investments in Tennessee for another property because of the certainty of the one big beautiful bill. Because we know if we buy the equipment, that's all 1 year write-off. Before it was, a short-term thing. Was it going to expire, sunset? Now you have certainty. It makes a difference. So
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'm so glad you brought it up because Democrats voted to raise taxes on every single small business owner and every single worker at any size business. They voted to raise the child tax credit. They voted to raise individual tax rates. We had the biggest refunds in American history at last count, over 220 billion. And now you have certainty. Big businesses always had certainty. Small businesses didn't. And Democrats wanted to put small businesses back to where they were before President Trump's 2017 tax bill. So look, this is game changing for Main Street. Instead of losing 6 million jobs, had the Democrats' wish of high taxes gone through, we're now going to be adding millions of new jobs.
It's all because of the one big, beautiful bill, and we got that passed, and it's been the engine of small business. I'm going to put the photo up, Dan, that we had last night. If you can find that, we'll pop that up. That we were able to take with. Yeah, there it is. Right, you got Aaron there, and
love it.
Kelly, you got Congressman John McGuire, who had never met you, by the way. So we're happy to get him introduced to you. John's a great guy. So that was a good intro there, Kelly.
It was a great night. Yeah, thanks for that. Good pick. Always great to see you guys in person.
I hate to say, Dan, put that pic up because I know I'm not supposed to say this on air, but did Ann look beautiful last night or what? She is.
I feel like I said that. She's so amazing. She gets younger every year.
I love that green. She had a green. That's last night.
Beautiful.
On the radio. It's myself and Kelly Loeffler and John McGuire and Susan B. Anthony. So yeah, it's good to. By the way, speaking of changing things in pictures, I love your hair. What you've done to it. I just
well, thank you, John. I thought you were going to say, by the way, congratulations on the Atlanta Braves record, 22-7, I think.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, hope things work out.
On fire.
I'm an Astro fan. We're in.
I know. We go way back to the World Series a few years ago. So
you're going to bring that up now?
Sorry.
We're having such a good conversation. That home run that hit the foul pole. Are you kidding me?
Pretty amazing.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, you got to bring that up. Whatever. People. Hey, big shout out to Caitlin O'Day.
Breaking news.
She's
Caitlin's the best.
She's the best. Kelly, thanks for being with us.
All right. God bless.
Michael Patrick Leahy next.